I went to Japan for the Pokemon World Championships. Japan has some of the strongest players in the entire world, but we almost never get to see them play because their circuit pretty much only has one major event per year. So I had an idea. What if I invited 8 of the very best players in Japan to a tournament so that people all over the world could see just how great Japan's top competitors are? But I had a problem. I don't have that much experience setting up live tournaments in general, let alone in a foreign country where I don't even speak the language. Things were looking bleak for my idea when my friend Yuki recommended I reach out to Team Umbra, one of the leading esports teams for competitive Pokemon in Japan. Not only was Team Umbra interested in helping out, they were able to provide a venue and all of the tech we'd need to make this tournament happen. Our competitors include the current world champion, Shohei Kimura, Shoma Honami, the 2015 world champion, Hirofumi Kimura, who placed second at the 2019 World Championships, 2017 World Semifinalist Tomoyuki Yoshimura, 2018 World Semifinalist Yusei Matsuno, Kiwamu Endo, who finished 9th at the 2018 World Championships, Kenji Mura, who top cut this year's World Championship, and last but certainly not least, Yosuke Takiyanagi, who top cut both of the prior World Championships. The tournament would be a double elimination bracket, so once a player lost twice, they were eliminated from the event. And to start things off, we have a match between the current world champion Shohei Kimura and a prior world semifinalist Yusei Matsuno.
So the battle is starting off here, and we have Iron Hands and Urshifu against Gyarados and Volcarona. This is a very interesting lead. I think it's also worth noting this Volcarona is Terra Water, so the combination of Wild Charge and Surging Strikes would result in a KO on the Volcarona regardless. So I'm interested to see here. We are switching out Gyarados. That's, I mean, Intimidate is great when it's not on the field. Into Cresselia here. It looks like Yusei is hoping that the Iron Hands goes for a Wild Charge maybe into the Cresselia slot or to the Gyarados slot here, but I think that if it's a double up, it could get risky. It is worth noting though that, like Yuki mentioned, this Volcarona does have Flame Body, and Surging Strikes hitting 3 times means 3 chances to get burned. So I'm curious if Shohei goes in the offensive or if instead he just takes his foot off the gas a little bit here.
But we go ahead and see Yusei kicking off the Terastallization and a Quiver Dance.
And no fake out here.
No fake out, so it's getting a little bit spooky. Are we going to see the Wild Charge and Surging Strikes go in? But no, we see a taunt over to the Cresselia. Pretty safe move because Gyarados probably didn't want to click Waterfall here. But we see the Volt switch over into the Volcarona from the Iron Hands, wanting to reposition a little bit.
I think the interesting thing is what he's going to do with Cresselia here, because it is under pressure here because it's been taunted, which means it can only click Moonblast. So we are going to see a switch out of the Cresselia to get rid of that taunt into the Assault Vest back to Caliber. This feels pretty safe. I mean, like, the Volcarona is threatening so much. You figure it's probably an Energy Ball that's going to come out here just because, like, you really don't want to let the Volcarona get going. But a second Quiver Dance. This is often considered a little bit risky. Looks like Energy Ball.
Energy Ball into the Volcarona.
Oh.
Are we going to see a Surging Strikes go into it? Oh, we do!
Is it going to burn? Oh, the first attempt. So that's huge because unlike most other contact moves, like the burn will apply immediately because it hits 3 times. And so now this Volcarona, who might have been in range of an Aqua Jet, maybe if it didn't burn until the last one, is certainly not in range now. So I think that was a risky Quiver Dance, to be honest. Like, I mean, yeah, like you take a lot of damage with Volcarona and the Energy Ball does so much damage. However, pays off in a major way here.
Fluttermane can't protect, so he has a free attack into that slot. So I would really like to see how Yusei kind of advances his board position from this advantage.
Absolutely. Fluttermane switching out. It's locked into Energy Ball. That is not a good move to be locked into in front of Assault Vest Excalibur. And actually, Lander is coming in. So I think this is an interesting switch because I thought Ice Shard and Heat Wave was the obvious play here into the Landorus, or into the Fluttermane slot. But instead, stepping off the gas a little bit, using Protective Volcarona. I mean, Urshifu can hit through Protect, which we are going to see here, but I mean, it doesn't do that much damage at the end of the day, thanks to the burn here. Although Volcarona looks like it's taking about 13 damage per hit here. Is going to go to 20, yes. So Volcarona's getting low. And the thing about Quiver Dance is, like, yeah, it's awesome to get some boost. Like, it feels great, but you have to attack for those boosts to really matter. You know what I mean? Glaive Rush doing a lot of damage here.
Big damage. I think it was pretty risky switch from Shohei's perspective because, again, I think it was a little bit obvious that the Fluttermane could switch out. So an Ice Wheel Crash, which probably does the most damage to Fluttermane out of all of Excalibur's attacks, could have been super effective and just knocked out Landorus right there.
This Volcarona is so low, but can Shohei get rid of it? But this is probably switched into, what do you think, Iron Hands maybe?
Maybe a Chimp, how to increase the Aqua Jet damage? Oh, sorry, we already saw the 4, but it's Iron Hands. maybe trying to reposition with a fake out for next turn.
Oh, this is a great play because, like we mentioned, because Urshifu can hit through Protect, you're able to actually position such that you can go for Fake Out and Surging Strikes into the Volcarona and say, hey, I might be burnt, but, you know, I'm still here. I'm still doing stuff. So, Heat Wave coming out. It will burn! Oh, that is massive. Iron Hands is a really difficult Pokemon to remove, and to be honest, like, this Urshifu doesn't have a fighting move, and it's already burnt, so how is Shohei going to get rid of this Baxcalibur? I mean, it does so much damage to Landorus, and with the Assault Vest and Terra Fairy, it probably beats Fluttermane as well. So that's a massive burn, doing enormous damage to one of Shohei's best tools at getting rid of this Baxcalibur.
Shohei is the world champion here. Like, he might not necessarily go for the obvious play, right? So I think that interaction is interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, personally, I would have just Fake Out Surging Strikes and you know, like, I would have expected them at the very least, but no, Shohei's showcasing that he's not going to play the game in an obvious way here. He's going switch out his Urshifu, bring in Fluttermane, and try and reposition here, and I think it makes some sense.
Wow, he protects in front of the obvious fake out Surging Strikes. I think that is incredible, but Shohei also reads that.
Wow. That's really interesting. I mean, it might have been a case where, like, I don't know if Surging Strikes would have KO'd through Protect, and if it doesn't KO, then this switch makes a ton of sense here. It's also worth noting this Cresselia is helping hand, this Volcarona is +2, but Fluttermane is so specially bulky. I don't know if +2 Helping Hand Heat Wave will pick up the KO because it's still at full HP. Another switch here might be Urshifu getting sacrificed. Like, it's not that valuable, and Fake Out actually has some use here. Urshifu does come in here. The thing is that, okay, here's the Helping Hand.
I think we're seeing it happen.
Will it connect? Heat Wave is only 90% accurate, so will it connect here? Heat Wave coming out. It does hit both. Will it KO the Fluttermane? Oh! A one-hit knockout. You know, honestly, I wasn't expecting that because we can see this Volcarona has max HP and it's faster than Urshifu, which means it probably has some speed as well. What's so interesting to me here, we are going to see a Terrestrialization. What's so interesting to me here was that turn 1 where Iron Hands went for Volt Switch. I wonder what would have happened if it had been Wild Charge instead, you know what I mean? So, Landorus Terrestrializing, not a bad move. I mean, Landorus, it's going to be hard for it to bring it back here, but I think if you're going to bring it back, you've got to make a play with your Landorus here going for damage. Volcarona is going to protect, though. There's no reason to risk a Fake Out in front of this Iron Hands, especially given, like, Cresselia has the Rocky Helmet, which so strongly discourages Fake Out. So,
so we see the Fake Out going into the Volcarona, being blocked by the Protect. We see the Terra Blast going into the Cresselia. This Landorus not only any pirate moves, so he's definitely going to survive. Let's see what it retaliates with.
Oh my goodness. A Lunar Blessing healing the damage to Cresselia as well as a lot of health back on this Volcarona. And let's not forget that even if Volcarona went down, there is still the Gyarados in the back. There's still this super, you know, effective Intimidate against these two physical attackers. So
I think the only way Shohei could even potentially come back is to read this switch in, Wild Charge the Cresselia slot, have the Heat Wave double miss probably, and then KO the Volcarona turn, but that's a lot of odds you're asking for in your favor.
Now let's see though, Gyarados switching in here. I mean, like we said, Heat Wave's not 100% accurate, and Landorus is still quite strong. You might need a critical hit though, to be honest. Here the Heat Wave does miss on the...
It's a miss on the Landorus. Okay.
I think that's probably fine. I mean, Landorus is not gonna win a 1 against 4 is my impression at -1 attack.
Definitely not. But we see the Terra Blast coming out anyways. It's being intimidated, so it's probably not gonna do too much unless critical hit. But yes, that Volcarona not having its bug typing anymore just tanks it big time. Yeah, and I think the high level play we can kind of put our eyes on here is Shohei Kimura taking a bit more time to click the forfeit button there. We saw Yusei lock in a lot earlier, so I think as a top player, he's already thinking about the next game after already knowing that this one is a bit over. So
basically, I think that it makes sense to bring back Excalibur, so we'll have to hope to see him move this later. And this is another adjustment that you can make in front of the Volcarona, where you could actually just go for something like an Energy Ball Surging Strikes if you want to make a hard read, or a safer move like Shadow Ball, which is always going to do a ton of damage here.
The only thing is that I think on Shohei's end, Iron Hands is a pretty nice switch in, since the Thunder Wave doesn't affect its electric typing. But you'd also have to call it correctly. But we see the switch of Volcarona into the Baxcalibur, taking a Shadow Ball, a lot of damage. If it's being doubled into, it might not be good news for Yusei.
Yeah, and you know what? I think part of the reason Gyarados didn't Thunder Wave, this is another correction, is that Urshifu does carry Taunt, unlike close combat. So I like this play a lot from Yusei. I mean, you do give up a lot of health on your Excalibur, which isn't great, but also when you think about the last game, the Pokemon that did the most damage to Volcarona was that Energy Ball. So just doing a lot of damage with Waterfall here, easily a 2-hit KO. That honestly might be in range of an Ice Shard from the Excalibur, maybe? Yeah, we are going to see a switch out of the Flutterman here. I like that Yusei covered this because if you don't go for Ice Shard here, you can just end up in a really bad spot really quickly. Yeah. It is going to be the Iron Hands, and unlike last game where Iron Hands came in and took a ton of damage, this time, I mean, that's not so bad.
Yep. And we see the Surging Strikes. This is a Urshifu that we saw earlier. Doesn't have the close combat.
Ooh, it's going to be close.
Actually might survive.
No! So close. But yeah, Excalibur going down here, I think it's actually a pretty big deal because this Iron Hands, it's like, how is Yusei gonna get rid of it? And it looks like a Thunder Wave actually connects.
Oh, yep, it's into Urshifu, yes.
I'm sorry.
No. Yeah, if it was double into Iron Hand slot, I think Yusei could definitely be in a lot of trouble. Now he can at least, if all things don't go super well, could rely on the Waterfall and the Paralysis chance to work out in his favor.
There's nothing that wants to switch in for Wild Charge and Surging Strikes. So, interesting. Well, you don't have to switch in if you can just switch where your Pokemon are standing on the field. I forgot about the ally switch here. Here comes Cresselia switching sides. Might be saying, all right, you know how I'm going to get rid of this Iron Hands is actually Rocky Helmet from Cresselia. Waterfall doing actually a decent chunk. I mean, with
a lot more than
recoil.
expected. But we see the Wild Charge, so not respecting the ally switch for this turn specifically. So we see the recoil from both the Wild Charge and the Rocky Helmet. If the Surging Strikes is going into that slot, but we see the taunt. So maybe that's more like a middle play that Shohei decided to change, where he said, okay, you might ally switch, you might not, but either way, I'm gonna do an attack that kind of respects any remove that you do there.
Yusei's just calling when the voltage and when the waterfall will happen, but no protect here from the Iron Hands. Will it survive a waterfall? I think it might.
Oh, in the red, just enough for more. Oh, it uses Volt Switch.
Interesting, not going for a KO here on the Gyarados, maybe covering for a protect. It is gonna switch out, but I mean, Iron Hands has kind of been neutralized here. I mean, it's lost a lot of its health.
Right. Yeah, I find it interesting that he decided to preserve it. But we see the Fluttermane come in. Can it take an attack? Yes, from Cresselia, but oh man. Yeah, I think it was pretty smart for Shohei to go for the Surging Strikes there. There's way more risk to ally switching in this generation where it has a chance to fail when using Succession. So it could also cover for a switch in of the Volcarona that's in the back. So yeah, I think Yusei's just biting for a good end game to have with the Volcarona, but
Urshifu switching out here. I wonder what's coming in. Maybe the Iron Hands, maybe sacrificing it?
Maybe to reposition. Oh,
Landorus.
Oh, so that's another way to live the waterfall, is to intimidate the Gyarados.
It's going to be close whether or not it survives. We are seeing Terrastellization come out this turn. I can't tell which player that is.
Yep,
it is Cresselia. So the Terrastellization, that makes sense with Landorus because you do really want to preserve it for Landorus's Terra Blast here. That also means that Volcarona, who was such a powerful Pokemon last game.
Oh, but he goes for a Shadow Ball.
Into the Gyarados.
Is this going to be enough?
A big KO. Gyarados is so specially bulky. I would imagine that was pretty close. And an amazing play from Shohei. It felt like, honestly, Shohei was kind of like behind once the Iron Hands took so much damage. And even with the Fairy Terrestrialization, we're seeing the weakness of Cresselia, which is that it's just not a very offensive Pokemon. It doesn't do a lot of damage. If Volcarona outspeeds these two and like Heatwave picks... Oh, we're running out of time.
Oh, no.
Moonblast and Protect goes through, I think. We are going to see the Terrestrialization.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, if I had to guess, it would definitely be the Terrestrialization on the Landorus. So potentially Shohei going for the double up into the Cresselia, getting rid of it before it has any more opportunities to ally switch or helping hand. But Yusei might respect that and still attack with the Volcarona.
Oh, it didn't go through. He timed out.
Oh no.
Oh, and a critical hit. Volcarona going for Heatwave though. Oh, it doesn't pick up the KO. Will it get a burn? No burn.
And the Terra Blast goes into
the Cresselia. Wait. Oh my goodness. It's possible. It's possible for, with a paralysis, Volcarona to win this match because it outspeeds Landorus. So if another Heatwave goes off, like, it's totally possible for Volcarona to pick up some KOs here. Like, it might be possible here.
True.
Volcarona's speed being... this Volcarona feels like it has max special attack, max speed, and max HP.
Yep, so Shohei just goes for the attack, seeing that he can definitely still go for the 75% chance to win.
But he misses. That's going to seal it up, I think. Who does it connect on? Fluttermane, yeah. To be honest, it was going to be really difficult here. You would have needed probably... It might have been 3 paralyses thanks to Urshifu's ability to hit through Protect. So what an exciting match. I mean, the timeout there almost saving Yusei, or at least giving them a chance back into the game. Not a super high probability chance, but a chance, and that's what counts. So I'm curious whether or not Yusei intends to parting shot or I'm curious what the counterplay is if the lead is the same, but it's not the same. It's actually Landorus and Fluttermane this time.
Yeah, so we see the landers come out in the front this time, so threatening the big damage already. I think I can definitely see him using it as a pivot, especially since it got intimidated through this Gyarados here at the expense of not being able to damage.
Yeah, I think that's a great switch. It's so tempting to go for an offensive attack here with with your Fluttermane in front of the Grimmsnarl, but yeah, the Iron Hand switch in, amazing stuff here. Parting Shot's gonna come out here and lower the attack of the Iron Hands, which is good, but you it's not as valuable, it feels like, as the going after the Fluttermane there. So Grimmsnarl switching out. We know it's Cresselia and Volcarona in the back. Volcarona's not a terrible idea here. You're not going to take a Terra Blast, and if it's U-turn into that slot,
yeah, the burn chance.
I mean, getting a burn would be massive. I mean, you also could do the safer thing and do Rocky Helmet with Cresselia here, but it is going to be Volcarona.
Going for it.
I feel like this has got to be U-turn, right?
Yes, yeah. I think there's no reason for Landers to want to stay in here.
Oh, will it burn?
Is he going for it? He's
game-changing.
Go for it.
No! Okay. Shohei smiling there. He goes, ooh, that was kind of close, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean, I think that was right from Yusei. I mean, you get, like, if you get the burn there, the game becomes significantly easier. We saw Landers clean up last time, and yeah, because, like, basically, there's only a couple physical attackers. Oh, I guess actually, Shohei's been bringing 3 physical attackers here, but getting a burn on one of them when the Urshifu with you Terastallize isn't as threatening is just really nice. And here we see the Thunder Wave failing against the Iron Hand, so a great switch here. And, you know, funnily enough, this is kind of
the exact same position as the game 1.
Exactly, including, like, okay, like, yes, Iron Hands hasn't been intimidated, or like, yes, Urshifu hasn't been intimidated, but Iron Hands is -1, and that's interesting because Urshifu was critting through anyway, so this is pretty much the exact same position as game 1. Yeah, I think that, like, it makes sense, like, it does seem obvious to switch Cresselia in here, but because you brought Grimmsnarl, maybe you might expect Shohei to think that the loss is Baxcalibur, because you also have been using that. Oh, and we see a little bit of a pop-off here. Let's see here. Here comes Grimmsnarl.
He knows it's the Grimmsnarl, so maybe he.
Oh,
oh, that's so smart.
Incredible play. Yeah, it makes sense, right? Because you figure, okay, either like no way Volcarona is going to let you Surging Strikes here, right? So either you think that you're going to get the like they're gonna Terastallize, in which case it doesn't really matter. Oh, and a Volt Switch again, the exact, actually a better play compared to game 1, right? Like where it was Surging Strikes. Wow, that was a very, very aggressive read, but it pays off in spades for Shohei.
Definitely, like, he knew the pressure he was exerting, knew that Yusei just couldn't Terastallize and go for the Quiver Dance again, so just pivots with the Volt Switch. He even commented to me earlier that he felt he was carried so much by that move on Iron Hands, so I just love seeing how it helps in position like this. And now I assume he brings in the Fluttermane, which pressures so much damage on both of these Pokemon. I think it's pretty hard to punish that, especially with Yusei not having the ability to protect with either of these Pokemon. But we see even more repositioning from Shohei, so just racking up the advantage potentially. Switching into the Landorus.
Oh, interesting. Huh, I'm a little surprised to not see Iron Hands come in here. I figured that you were trying to punish the Gyarados next. Here we go. Yuki, which screen is this?
So this is light screen.
Okay, interesting. Oh, and it's actually a Shadow Ball coming out, not a Dazzling Gleam like I expected. And even through the light screen, doing so much damage. Moonblast, not doing very much damage. Really, like, the power of Volt Switch and U-turn, switching moves that allow you to, like, make a decision in the middle of the turn while still doing some damage. So Gyarados coming in here. I mean, if this is a Terra Blast, I think it's a great position. Like, Shohei is threatening a KO on both Pokemon here, though I don't think you need to Terastallize for that. But yeah, no Terastallization. Reflect coming out. Fluttermane gonna go for a Shadow Ball here into the Gyarados. Not gonna read into the Ally Switch here. I think that makes sense. How much will this do? Fair bit of damage. Oh, huge special defense drop.
Oh, and then he's stopping tantrums into the Gyarados, so...
Like, once again, we're under the threat of Thunder Wave, and once again, Shohei says, I'm not going to let you Thunder Wave my Fluttermane. Like, I don't care if I'm threatening a KO. Like, I'm not going to let you do it. Iron Hand switching in again here. Parting Shot coming out, lowering it to -1 attack. But, I mean, with the Reflect, this is meaningful. But the question is, who's coming in here? Is it Cresselia? Who, like, taking a U-turn would be kind of bad, would put in range of, like, a reposition from this Fluttermane? Or is it going to be Volcarona, who, you know, could take a double damage Stomping Tantrum? It is going to be Cresselia. I think that's safer. Volcarona is pretty much your only way back into this match.
If we see the U-turn here, nope, we see the Stomping Tantrum again into the Cresselia, which looked safe at first, but yeah.
Oh, it's a waterfall. I'm sorry. I definitely... Oh, critical hit!
Critical hit.
We are going to see a fake out into the Cresselia here, actually allowing Iron Hands to take even more damage from the Rocky Helmet here. As U-turn also, this chip is non-trivial, honestly.
Yes.
Like, this chip actually matters a lot. Cresselia doesn't take that much damage. It doesn't happen as much to Landorus. Landorus switching out here. The question is, who's coming in? Is it going to be that Urshifu, or is it going to be the Flutter main?
So with Landorus not being able to do any big damage move other than U-turn or Terra Blast in front of these two like floating Pokemon, I think he could Thunder Wave that slot. Does he go for it?
Yeah! Oh my goodness, what an aggressive prediction using Thunder Wave in front of a Landorus Therian, but it pays off in a massive way in Fluttermane, which thus far has been honestly a real pain in the butt because it's been outspeeding everything.
Let's see, we see Lunar Blessing come out from the Cresselia, being able to attack first. So that's a pretty fast Cresselia. And we see Yusei spraying, maybe he's going for that waterfall. Can it do it?
It's a lot of damage. Here's the Moonblast, though. Unfortunate, but Gyarados actually will take that pretty well. Honestly, eats the Citrus Berry, and the Lunar Blessing here, even if Gyarados ends up going down, this is still relevant because Wild Charge is a recoil move.
Yes, and it goes for the Volt Switch again.
Oh, and that does very little. And you know, in part, Yuki, it's not only the Light Screen, but that Iron Hands took a parting shot, so the special attack drop actually being relevant here, which is funny. That's not often you see Iron Hands special attack coming into play, but...
Yep. So now we see it pivot maybe into the Landorus to lower Gyarados' damage output so that it can't knock out the Flutter Mane next turn. But with the help of Helping Hand, that could change things. And I think Shohei still hasn't Terrastalized, so
That's right.
it could Terrastalize into Terra Grass, which we don't see too often to also survive, but not something you want to do on a Pokemon that's paralyzed. So yeah, this is another tough turn. Terra Water, Volcarona is in great shape, but we see the switch out maybe to an Iron Hands so that it has a little bit more leeway next turn. But no, we see the Urshifu.
Oh, and a U-turn. That's not going to pick up the KO here. And actually, more Rocky Helmet damage. Yuki, this is getting very close to being in Heat Wave range. A little more chip.
I don't see how Shohei can beat the Terra Water Volcarona anymore, right? Like, I mean, the Urshifu is the only Pokemon at full health, but we know that it matches up very poorly into Volcarona as Terrastalized.
Here comes Iron Hands, and what happens? Another Lunar Blessing. So, like, yes, the damage is you know, adding up, but it's also subtracting down. I'm so sorry. Waterfall into Iron Hands. I mean, that's
Also non-trivial.
non-trivial damage. The dividends that you know kind of happened here by going for it. Urshifu gonna protect here. So question is what is Iron Hands going for and what is Yusei going for?
Right, we see the Moonblast going into the Urshifu. Probably not going to, unless it wants to Thunder Wave, but it waterfalls into the Iron Hands.
Low
If this
HP.
flinches, I think this is very bad.
Oh! A huge flinch there. It's so funny how much pressure Volcarona is exerting here
Yes,
because
it's not even on the board.
it
It
has
barely even showed up.
Yeah, it showed up, it switched down, it took a little damage. Here comes the Surging Strikes here, afraid to attack the Cresselia. We see the deterrent that is Rocky Helmet here.
Yes.
And Gyarados is so tanky. We see the value of that Citrus Berry. Without it, it would have gone down, but with it, it's still alive. This Gyarados has been on the field for so long. It got special defense dropped, and it's still here. Moonblast coming out, again, under 50%, but I mean, this damage is adding up, and while Yusei is healing thanks to Lunar Blessing, all damage on Shohei is permanent, especially now that there's no Drain Punch healing.
Yeah, at first we're thinking like, oh, like Volcarona needs to get some clear dances up, but no, it could just sweep with just
Here it
hitting Sweep Wave.
comes. Oh, he celebrates. He called it.
So he probably
into
Surging
Gyarados.
Strikes, so attacks first, and he had the Cresselia already moved. So I think if this is a Shadow Ball, this could be a double knockout. But is Yusei even unhappy about that?
I feel like, I mean, we've been talking about a Volcarona, but like, doesn't have enough to take down all three Pokemon.
And I think Light Screen just expired the previous turn, so that's a big knockout.
Oh, wow. Wait, so this is swung again. All of a sudden, Shohei in the Pokemon lead, though their time is running pretty low here. And I think, was that a screen ending, Yuki?
That's a Reflect ending, so yeah, Yusei no longer has any screens.
Here we go, Quiver Dance, and here we see the value of this Volcarona outspeeding Urshifu. If not for it, you know, maybe Taunt could do something. Oh, Urshifu actually Terrastalizing here. Oh, maybe they're going for the no burn, like hoping that the Flame Body doesn't activate. I mean, the damage will be significant. Shadow Ball's a powerful move.
Yeah, so I guess it's a double up into
Volcarona. Yeah, makes sense. Urshifu is not paralyzed either, so I mean, could this be the damage that Shohei needs? It's gonna be really close here. First up, Reflect, although it's not. Oh, first up, Aqua Jet. Picking up the KO on the Grimmsnarl, not letting it set up Reflect.
I didn't even consider that. Wow. So yeah, Grimstall couldn't get any screens up, and now we can see a Shadow Ball.
No, first the Quiver
After
Dance.
the Quiver Dance.
Yeah, light screen I believe is still up, or am I incorrect about? No, light screen is up
both
first. There's
screens are
no
gone.
screens.
So can this Flutter Mane attack? Oh, gets a
Shadow Ball. A critical hit would end this.
Absolutely.
No.
Oh,
Wait,
no
that
special
didn't
defense
do.
prop.
Oh, but Yuki, the Urshifu is no longer fighting type, which means Bug Buzz is now effective against it.
Oh.
So the question is, do you want to go for the Heat Wave 2-hit KO and risk maybe going down, or do you want to go for Bug Buzz?
That's true.
Oh, the read!
Protect.
What an aggressive prediction! Was the Terra Water in part a bait to get the Bug Buzz to lock into that
Oh
slot?
my goodness.
Will Flutter Mane be able to attack here?
Oh! Gets the Shadow Ball. Is it in Akujet range?
No.
No way.
But it's in Surging Strike's range for sure.
Yes. I think he definitely still wants to Bug Buzz that slot.
3 minutes left. This battle's so close. The question is, oh man, I feel like you have to
You
Bug
just have
Buzz.
to read whether the Urshifu will switch out or not. And he goes for the
Aqua Jet! Oh, wait, this could be
Do it.
70 down to 7!
7.
Is there a burn? Critical hit!
Crit.
Oh,
He wave hits both. We get a crit here. No.
no crit. Is there a burn?
No burn.
Oh my goodness.
What a match.
What a match. Oh my goodness. I mean, without the crit, I think Volcarona is still getting 2-shot. It needed the burn there. It had 2 opportunities with Flame Body and Heat Wave, but oh man, what a great call to terrestrialize Urshifu. They saved Landorus the whole game. It felt like, oh yeah,
Yes.
Landorus gonna take the Terra, of course. Saw an opportunity and went for it. And with only a couple seconds left on the clock here, Aqua Jet gonna come out here and we see the power of Urshifu. Shohei is celebrating a little bit.
Yeah.
So well played from Yusei. And there's the Flame Body. A little insult to injury. 2 minutes left on the clock overall. And wow, what a phenomenal set. I mean, that was so back and forth. Like the whole game, I was like, oh, like Yusei's winning, Shohei's winning. Like it felt like duck season, rabbit season to me. You know what I mean?
Really quick before we jump into the second match, I want to take a second and just tell you about the Patreon that I opened up last month. I'm offering multiple additional videos per month there, including analyses of top competitive matches and a breakdown of the current format every single month. I also make videos using teams submitted from patrons on the ladder, and at the highest tier, I review a team submitted by each patron and give my feedback every single month. You can check out the different rewards offered at the various tiers if you're interested at patreon.com/WolfeyVGC.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see because I honestly feel like Snow cannot bring their Heatran. Like that's
You're right.
So I feel like which 4 Pokemon they bring are like a little bit more limited. We are gonna see.
Snow's bringing out the Chien-Pao and the Urshifu Water,
Ooh.
whereas Kiwamu's bringing out the Flutter Mane and Tornadus.
The combination of Sunny Day and Dazzling Gleam is very different, but actually switching out here, Chien-Pao's gonna switch most likely. I would say Amoonguss, but let's see what comes in here.
The Cresselia,
Ah.
so definitely able to take those Dazzling Gleams a lot better. And we see a Terrasolation happen.
I believe
guess,
this is
on
the fairy one
Kiwamu.
first. Yeah. The question is Urshifu going to Terrasilize here? And if not, is it going to protect? Because I think Terra Fairy Dazzling Gleam will certainly pick up a KO here.
Yes, and with the Tornadus not having taunt, I believe that Cresselia can definitely get an attack up next turn. Oh, but we do see a Terrasolization.
Great Terrasalization here. Yeah. I think the Tornadus actually does have taunt, but will it make it through the turn with this? Like, because this Terra Water Surging Strike, Sunny Day was not chosen, so something is going to take a big hit here, and something is most likely going to faint.
So we see the Tailwind going up. Probably not going to affect the speed tiers too much for this turn, and we see the Dazzling Gleam come out. Urshifu able to survive thanks to the Terrasalization, but still going to take a lot of damage.
Critical hit would have been pretty
and
big there.
It's probably going to retaliate into which slot?
Flutter Mane. That's bulky, but it's not surviving Terra Water.
No.
Mystic Water. Oh, only has 2 hits.
Just 2 hits.
Wow, there's the end of Flutter Mane. So,
attacking moves on Kiwamu's end are relatively inaccurate, so yeah, so Tomoyuki is going to go for that detect. Doesn't want to take damage here. Probably think the Cresselia can take all the attacks, but the Icicle Crash goes in, does, definitely not in Bleak Wind Storm range, but is it going to hit? I think it missed.
and Cresselia?
Oh, it flinches.
Oh, a huge flinch there.
Tomoyuki has great defensive pivoting options into these 2 types, and we see the Sucker Punch, and we see this is going to be a single target Bleak Wind Storm.
I don't think this gets it. What do you think?
I think it might survive on a sliver of health. It depends on how the Cresselia is
I think
trained.
he's gonna live on 7%.
Oh, but there's another
Oh, a
miss.
huge miss, and this time there's no icicle crash, so no flinch, and Icy
He
Wind.
wins.
Oh my goodness, that's really unfortunate because the whole point of using Sucker Punch there is to avoid losing your focus sash. At least that's my opinion on it.
I think the game could be over for Tomoyuki as well if he doesn't protect the Chin Pao and you get a free Weak Wind Storm and a Sacred Sword. So I think both players understand the risks, and now it's about how do they read their opponent.
I like how quickly Kiwamu locked in, by the way. Like, there was like no hesitation.
That's
It was
true.
Just immediate, like, I'm going for this play.
Even at Team Preview too.
Yeah.
So. Oh, we see the Ice Ball
no.
Crash.
Icicle Crash will.
Oh! Oh my goodness,
Yes.
what an aggressive prediction there. Taking out the Rillaboom in one
Oh, it's a critical hit.
hit. I don't think the critical hit mattered.
Yeah.
Maybe it might have mattered.
It could have mattered. Wow. And do we see the flinch? Oh, no flinch.
Oh, Icy Wind. So yeah.
Oh man, I mean, it was a great. I think it was what Kiwamu needed to get back into the game, and what an aggressive play from Tomoyuki. I think if you lose Chin Pao there, game is over. There's a mind game going on here, which is that Tornadus can't protect itself. So that I almost wonder if like, do you read the protect, or do you like do you predict that? Oh, like it's so obvious to go for Icicle Crash. What's going on here?
Oh, it's an Ice Crash that missed
Oh
the
my
Tornadus.
goodness.
So
Wait,
this
but
is-
Bleak Wind misses?
Oh, on the Cresselia.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, I did a lot. Wait, if there's a speed
Did a
drop.
lot.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness! Now because of the Covert Cloak, both Pokemon are in range of Bleak Wind Storm. This is swung around
Oh my
again.
goodness.
You know,
Oh,
I don't like using inaccurate moves. I never wanted to use Tornadus. I never wanted to use Icicle Crash Chen Pao. This is why.
They're so human.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Good call there. Yeah, super good call there. Okay, Tailwind going up because of the speed drop. Sacred Sword is now going to outspeed the Chen Pao. That's a massive speed drop here.
But also, it got Icy Winded twice, so it could
Yes.
have still been a speed time.
No, because of the speed drop on the Bleak Wind Storm. That's the difference maker.
yes, that's right.
Otherwise, it might not even have been a speed tie because sometimes when you like lower speed and then double it because of rounding errors or like rounding.
Oh, sure, that's
like,
right.
It's possible to not exactly be the same. But anyway, yeah, it doesn't matter here. The speed drop, Bleak Wind Storm speed drop plus Icicle Crash miss allows Kiwamu to outspeed Tomoyuki's.
But this
Wait, hang on. We're back in this. Wait.
my brain also might be working either. Did the Focus Sash come back last turn because of the extra grassy terrain recovery?
No, it was like just barely below.
Was
because
it
of the
definitely
icy wind.
below? Okay.
Yeah.
So
Sucker Punch coming
Sucker
out here.
Comes out.
Oh, barely survived.
Oh.
Will Bleak Wind hit? It does.
Hits!
There we go. A double KO thanks to Bleak Wind Storm. Bleak Wind giveth, Bleak Wind taketh away. Wow. What a volatile match we had there, Yuki.
When the winds had to rise, it finally came.
Yeah.
And both Pokemon, the one turn it needed to.
I think that this is a trap. Like this to me feels like Kiwamu has laid an extremely dangerous trap, and they're saying, okay, Tomoyuki, you have to read that I'm going to bring Heatran, and if you don't read that Heatran's coming, things are going to be very difficult. For anyone
Yes.
curious, by the way, the reasoning for Heavy Slam Heatran instead of Flash Cannon specifically is for Fluttermane. Fluttermane is much more bulky on the special slide. Magma Storm is a great move to use against most things, and oh my goodness, what they called
How
it!
did you call it? That's what I want to ask.
I'm honestly in disbelief here. This is I don't even know what to say. Like that is an incredibly aggressive prediction that pays off in spades immediately. Like
It's a free substitute.
it's a free substitute.
How
yeah.
do you break that? You can't.
You-
And you,
there's-
don't even have to Terra.
Well, you might want to, based on what I'm seeing on the screen in front of me here.
Oh, sorry. I was talking from Kiwamu's perspective.
Oh,
like,
yes,
he can
yes.
Just, yeah, he has the
So-
he's the one who has the Terra Blast Heat Wave Heatran. So
Oh, am I confused here? Wait,
you might be.
Oh,
yeah. Magma Storm is
oh.
over on Tomoyuki's side.
I'm so sorry. Okay, never
okay.
mind. Kiwamu has called that the. I got
yes.
flipped. I'm so sorry.
No,
okay,
no.
So the bottom player, Kiwamu, has. You know, I'm actually gonna switch these around.
Oh, sorry,
Wait,
yeah.
is this? Yes. Okay, hang on. I've got the wrong team sheets in front of me. Ha! There's no protect.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry for yelling. Oh my
Oh,
god!
but
Wait,
it
it lives
survives.
surging strikes? Huh? I didn't know that was possible.
And it's Mystic Water or Splash Plate as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, substitute coming out here. What is the
guess-
Heatran gonna do here?
It must be Magma Storm into the
Oh
Earth
my
which
goodness, it
connects.
connects. And is there gonna be a spore follow-up? Nappy.
Nap time, but it's still not looking that good for Tomoyuki. I mean, how does he hit this Heatran?
How does he? Well, how do you think Terra Blast gets rid of
Heatran, like
Substitute?
no. Wait, hang on. The top player is Magma Storm, Iron Defense, Heavy Slam. The bottom player is like, so the top player only has like a little bit of percent left.
Yes.
Tomoyuki only has a little health left on Heatran, but is that enough for like the only damaging move is Terra Blast? So will it pick up the KO?
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about that.
Like I think it will, but I don't know.
40 damage. You can think of it as like quick attack, I guess.
I guess yeah, quick, but it's special.
So we see the sleep
no,
being used.
Rage Powder. Will Terra
Let's blast, pick it up.
Terra Blast normally only used after terrestrializing, but will it do enough?
Oh!
Yeah! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, what an incredible play from Kiwamu using, like in front of Amoonguss, using both Surging Strikes and Terra Blast is very risky, and I assume that's Pollen Puff?
Yes, that was a
Looks
failed
like it's
Pollen
gonna fail.
Puff
Yeah, I mean,
into
you
the
have
side.
to go for it there, but yeah, I mean, Heatran is an extraordinarily commanding position now from Kiwamu. This is
Yes.
Citrus Berry Heatran, by the way, for anyone confused as to why it's not healing up
Yeah.
with leftovers. But yeah, an interesting play here. We actually might see one of the advantages of Citrus Berry Heatran, which is that you are able to kind of take a Surging Strikes here safely.
Yep.
You're not forced to Terra defensively, so you can make a predict. This is a prediction. They're saying, okay, I think Urshifu is going to detect, and they get it correct.
yeah,
They say, okay,
very
I'm
well
not
done.
going to let you Terra here. Heat Wave or Sleeping. Nappy.
Yes, this is Nappy.
Nappy.
Urshifu. And yeah, we see the Heat Wave come out. Gonna be not hitting the Urshifu on Tomoyuki's end, but
Does
connects
connect.
to the Amoonguss, and
Whoa! Is that a critical hit? I didn't think it would do that much damage.
No,
Yeah,
it's a crit.
That is a crit, yeah. Citrus Berry coming in here, which is nice, but I mean, Amoonguss is
Maybe it's palm puffing into the Heatran.
predicting the Terra Grass.
Blast.
Yeah, wow. Another great play from Kiwamu, celebrating a little bit there.
Well done. Yeah, I guess I'm wondering, like, what would be the downside of doing that? Because you could have gone not knocked out, I guess, because of Citrus Berry. But, okay, so we see the Surging Strikes go into the Urshifu, maybe protecting a switch.
No predict from the Amoonguss as well.
And I guess we're going to see a Heat Wave come out again.
Let's see if the Urshifu wakes up here.
So I guess a...
3-turn sleep is
3-turn
unfortunate, but I
sleep.
mean, like, honestly, as long as Heatran connects Heat Wave, which
Yep.
it does, like, I mean, of course, waking up is nice, but you're now up 4 against 2, and your Urshifu is guaranteed to wake up on the next turn. Will Heat Wave burn, by the way? That would be
that would
pretty
be
massive.
game ending.
Yeah, okay, no burn.
It's definitely not over. Like, both Pokemon Tomoyuki side having access to Protect means that he has one more read of leeway that he can get right over on Kiwamu. So
Yeah, here comes the Terra from the Urshifu as well. We're going to see the Heatran terrestrialize as well here. I mean, it's interesting to see Terra Water here, to be honest. Like, because...
maybe he's reading that Kiwamu wouldn't terrestrialize the Heatran. Yeah, based on his reaction, it makes me think that he would reading
Aqua Jet,
that.
maybe? Aqua Jet. Wait, this Heatran sub took a Pollen Puff. Imagine Aqua Jet plus Icicle Crash into the Heatran here. I don't think they went for it.
Oh, and they're sort of ruined too.
Yeah, like-
but yeah, based on his reaction,
Probably
yeah,
not,
you're
but man,
probably
that would have
not.
been incredible. Heatran's disappearing behind the sub after showing off its shiny
And we see
gem.
the wake up happen, so it's the Aqua Jet
Breaking the Focus Sash here.
Sash.
It is just the Sacred
Sacred
Sword.
Sword.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, you know what? The play here was to try and KO the Heatran through the Citrus Berry, through the sub.
Yes.
Hoping for no terrestrialization.
Yes.
I mean, I think it makes sense, right? I mean, going for Terra Water, Aqua Jet plus Icicle Crash, you don't know that Kiwamu's gonna Aqua Jet there as well. Like, if it's just a, oh my god, it needs multiple hits to break.
Wait, what?
That's gotta
Oh yeah,
be...
that's...
Even, but with Sword of Ruin and the Terra and the Mystic Water as well, I'm actually shocked it took, because that also was taking a Pollen Puff, which probably did about 3 damage.
right.
Wow. Yeah, that is, this Heatran just, I mean, it's kind of wild when a Pokemon doesn't come to the first game and then just like dominates the second
Yes.
game, right?
I guess, yeah, Kiwamu's team is just so versatile that I can go for those like different game plans very easily, and yeah, it's a clean knockout, and with the Pokemon difference, I don't see a way Tomoyuki can come back.
Yeah, I think that this is probably, this would be tough, to be honest. I think that even like going into Rillaboom and clicking 100% accurate moves here is okay, though of course, oh yeah, Sash Shenpao is one of the best Pokemon to bring in here, if not the single best, so...
Yep.
Which might be relevant if they rematch and
Sure.
winners are like later on in the bracket.
And
But yeah,
then-
Kiwamu either wins the speed tire, is just naturally faster. Tomoyuki unfortunately does not win there. But yeah, I mean, I think honestly when your opponent plays as well as Kiwamu does, there's just not that much you can do. Before we jump into our third match, I want to take a second and just ask you to subscribe. Lots of people watch my videos, but currently only about 30% of them are subscribed. If you're enjoying the content and want to support the channel, I'd really appreciate it.
So let's go ahead and see Shoma open us up with Our Hands Cresselia versus Hirofumi with Shenpao Urshifu. These are pretty well-known duels to take the stage here and try and get something like Sylveon, who would be very powerful. But no, it is going to be the fake out into the Shenpao. I like that move. I think it makes sense.
We are going to see the flinch and then the surging strikes, which does a fair bit of damage, though. Even with the Sword of Ruin, Iron Hands isn't going to be in range of. I don't think it'll be in range of like Aqua Jet Sucker Punch, although yeah, maybe.
The Sword of Ruin.
Yeah, Sword of Ruin actually ends up being a big difference here as Trick Room goes up. So, ton of damage on Shoma's Pokemon, but he did get the speed control that he wanted for the next couple turns.
Yeah, I think it's very hard for Shoma to attack with the Iron Hands, but he ends up doing
a huge survival, but Sucker Punch. I mean, that's the advantage, right? You have priority in all your Pokemon. Like, you're able to take out the Iron Hands. Moonblast will do a fair bit of damage here, but I mean, that's still a pretty positive trait in my opinion. Getting rid of Iron Hands always feels like impossible. Moonblast and the Urshifu, it's less bulky. Either it's less bulky or it's Cresselia is more offensive than the last time we saw Moonblast into Urshifu because it does over half of the health.
Bring in Sylveon, going for the Hyper Voice, and whatever they do, you can even bring in your own Amoonguss for the Cresselia slot.
Interesting switch out of Cresselia here, actually.
Oh, and it looks like it's the Heatran.
Ah.
So, I guess, yeah, I would anticipate this would be a Rillaboom switch and a Protect over from the Chien-Pao. Pretty safe given the board state, but I guess Shoma might have read that and brought the Heatran in there, kind of baiting out the Rillaboom in a way.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It is going to be Protect from the Chien-Pao, so basically it's unlikely anything happens this turn unless this is a very aggressive Pollen Puff prediction.
Nope, it looks like it's a Spore, and it's going into the Chien-Pao slot.
Feels a little risky, right? Imagine you just Surging Strikes into the Cresselia and the game ends immediately, but
I think he's still taking a risk no matter what. The Heat Wave and Spore combination is very powerful.
Yeah, 100%. So we are going to see Chien-Pao switch out here. I think this makes sense. You're pressuring the Heatran to Terrasilize, but there's no Terrasalization. In my opinion, that's pretty risky. Shoma crossing his hands. Heat Wave misses the.
Wave.
Oh, sorry.
Nope.
That was a flinch. That was a flinch. Both
That's
survive.
A lot of damage.
Yeah, the Life Orb actually paying off in a pretty big way there and a burn. Oh my goodness. Yeah, like even though Shoma's down in Pokemon, it's not so bad. But actually switching out the Heatran here into Cresselia, Shoma's got such an interesting way of playing.
Yes, I think it's hard to comment because I'm not confident on the last turns of Trick Room, but yeah, I think this Rillaboom is went for a Grass Knot into the Urshifu, and I guess the Rillaboom is going to go for a U-turn.
Will Rocky Helmet take that out?
I think it
actually.
will, yes.
Wow, yeah. So I guess that was an intentional sacrifice there, saying I understand the U-turn. That might seem weird to let your Pokemon go down, but your Rillaboom has been burned.
Now you actually have two Pokemon that pressure down Cresselia a lot. Like you don't have a free Spore into the Urshifu slot. As you can get a Trick Room safely. So I thought that was really good.
Oh, I almost wonder if Hirofumi's trying to bait in the Heatran here to take the Head Smash. It's worth noting, though, that Head Smash is not 100% accurate. It is just Rage Powder. Okay. I think that's the safest move. I agree with that very much so. Like, let's see if Head Smash even connects. It does.
Yes.
So this is likely to KO.
Down.
Yeah.
It is Omega
this
down.
This is Choice Band with the Sword of Ruin. So, like, the thing is that Amoonguss goes down here, yes. However, like, it's Arcanine that can't protect the Heatran. Oh, my God. That did a lot of recoil damage. Wait, it lost 75% of its health and it didn't even take an attack. That is pure recoil damage alone.
Yes. It could get doubled into, I guess.
Do you think it lived? I mean, Cresselia probably lives Choice Band Head Smash, right? Oh, no Terrasalization
Not with
the
Sword of Ruin, I don't think so.
Oh, man. This is really, really tricky. And we actually, the value in Terra Poison, it's not a common choice, but with Life Orb, getting the resistance to Fairy is kind of big.
Yes.
Heatran protects.
Just as you read. Oh, what does a Cresselia do? It definitely can't do that much damage.
Moonblast, but the Terra Poison means it actually did more than I expected.
Oh, now he's praying. Hirofumi's praying.
That's a critical hit. Not even 25%.
He doesn't care if this
hits. Does it KO? Oh, a critical hit. Cresselia, one of the tankiest Pokemon in the entire game, gets one hit KO'd. Wait, but Yuki, this isn't over because of the recoil.
Over.
Oh my goodness, because Life Orb Heat Wave might do enough damage to both of the remaining Pokemon.
Yes. And we have, I think, an Urshifu with reduced health in the back.
I feel like that was like around 40 HP.
Yeah, so it's kind of tricky if Heat Wave could pick it up.
The grass is ending. That's actually huge because that isn't Heat Wave range. I'm pretty confident.
So he goes for the Terrasalization, which I think we agreed was pretty
safe. Yeah, you don't want to take the Aqua Jet. Yeah, Aqua Jet plus Sucker Punch could actually be pretty threatening. So he's going to Terrasilize to grass here. I didn't see what Hirofumi went for, though.
I think he went for a double protect. I guess, yeah, there's no reason not to get an extra Trick Room.
Oh, Chien-Pao didn't protect last turn. I'm so sorry. I got confused. Yeah,
no.
So stalling out a turn of Trick Room here, baiting out the Terra. This is a good play. Heat Wave connects on both. Oh! Huge double knockout. We actually see the power of Life Orb Heatran there. Without the Life Orb, I wouldn't be confident we'd get either of those
Because Hiromi
Pokemon.
was praying, which makes me think he thought there was a possibility that the Chien-Pao can survive. And if you saw its HP is actually a little bit higher than
yeah, it
just
wasn't
normal.
minimum, yeah.
Yeah, gave him a lot of momentum to close out the Trick Room turns and get it up a second time.
Watching Shoma is like feeling like I'm like the guy who, like the meme with the guy who's really confused with all the question marks. That's how I feel. Yeah, but and then like it's like he's like I'm like, oh, Shoma made it like oh, this play doesn't make any sense. He lost so much ground. He's gonna lose for sure. And then like it all clicks on one turn. It's like, wait, he won. Like it's like he's losing. He's winning. A big adjustment from Shoma here, and an adjustment from Hirofumi. So both players bringing the fairy type that they didn't bring in the last game.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a tangent, but Shohei did that in the World's Finals too, right? Like he had the Chien-Pao up in front and switched out immediately both game 1 and 2.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I think this is a recurring theme from really strong players that maybe the players at home can start taking notes on. But
for anyone curious, I think it's in part to bait out the counterplay. It's also probably in part to bait out the Terra. Imagine the Mungus just terrestrializes to water here. You've now dealt with your opponent's Terra, and you didn't have to play a mind game, right?
Yeah, and you're in really good shape now if the Amoonguss stays in. But no, it's the Sylveon that's switching out.
Maybe Heatran coming in?
It's a Cresselia.
Oh.
So maybe trying to go for the Trick Room, but the Amoonguss stays in.
Oh, wait, no. Oh, sorry. This is the Terra Grass coming out.
Yes.
Sorry, I got so excited. I was like, I got it. But the Amoonguss does stay in, so yeah, begs the question, is it going to go for Spore? Is it going to Terra? Is it going to go for Spore? Like, what's going on here? Oh, man. Terra Grass coming out. We're going to see Calm Mind, and the thing is that, oh my goodness, that's the value of that kind of play.
Gotten big time.
Yeah, and now you have Rillaboom in front of Terra, I believe Water, Amoonguss.
Yes.
So, oh my goodness, what an
You couldn't be in a
incredible
worse
play.
spot.
In terms of turn ones, I have a hard time picturing this going any better for Hirofumi because you've got a boost on your Flutter Mane, you've got Rillaboom on the field in front of Terra, Water, Amoonguss, and Amoonguss can't do anything in front of these two.
Yeah, and you can't even Rage Power next turn to get off the Trick Room, so this is looking really bad.
Hirofumi is in an unbelievably dominant position here.
Yes.
And there's no Rage Powder. No switch outs, no Rage Powder. Oh my god, that does a lot of damage. Woodhammer gonna take a lot of damage here. It's not Citrus Berry. It's instead just the safety goggles in the Cresselia. And Cresselia, the only Pokemon on Shoma's team to ensure that he moves first, has been removed from the game as Pollen Puff comes out. Kind of, I think, cut your losses situation. It can't protect, and it's like getting it one shot by Woodhammer, so it makes sense that it would like, yeah, like stay, or like it would make sense that you could go after that slot here. But man, we are seeing actually, this is one of my favorite things to do is make it so that Amoonguss is worse than useless. This Amoonguss got stuck. It got stuck on the field. It can't do anything, right? Like its Spore is not doing anything. Pollen Puff, I mean, okay, you've gotten some damage on Rillaboom, but. It's just really rough. I think that like Shoma maybe should have Rage Powder. Oh wait, what am I saying? The Flutter Mane is Grass type. Yeah. I was like, oh, you can't redirect Woodhammer. Wow, yeah, this Amoonguss, this is the worst I have ever seen Amoonguss play ever, and it is Iron Hands, so that does explain why there was no switch coming out there. And yeah,
I can see that just brings you a little bit of joy.
I do. I love when players build their teams in a way that invalidates Amoonguss, and I think it's going to be a forfeit here. So, wow, yeah, after a pretty dominant game, well, maybe not dominant from Shoma, but a very well-positioned game one from Shoma, we see the adjustment Hirofumi is able to make.
Yeah, let's see what these leads are going to be. Over from Shoma, that's going to be Cresselia, Iron Hands, so reverting back to what happened in game 1.
Can you confirm the booster, by the way? I assume it's speed, but I feel like we should just confirm.
Kind of has to have Cresselia on the board to get Trick Room up and kind of spend the second turn of Trick Room in, because the...
Oh my goodness, that is very bad if you're a Shoma fan. That is very, very bad.
That's very bad.
Heatran coming in here, but the Fega was actually launched into the Iron Hands this time. So I don't want to say a dead turn, but it's not a good turn if you're Shoma, because now, again, speed control. There's no speed control on this board right now. Shoma's Pokemon are just going to be slower. Like, I think one of Shoma's strengths is, like, positioning and trading, and I think Hirofumi's really kind of punishing that by, yeah, like, basically putting, like, not going for trades, but instead going for setup. Calm Mind again from Flutter Mane. So this thing is now 2 stages of increased special defense. Heatran coming out here. My guess is that this is going to go into Arcanine. You want to reduce the damage of Wild Charge. Shoma's actually doing like something of an offensive pin here, where you think, okay, well, if Flutter Mane doesn't Terrestrialize, then Wild Charge will do a ton of damage, and if it does Terrestrialize, Heat Wave becomes super effective. So I think it makes sense. The question is, how much are these moves going to do? Both of Hirofumi's Pokemon have already moved for the turn. The question is, will Heat Wave connect?
Oh, there's a miss, and it's missing the Arcanine.
Okay, that's fine. That did not matter, but that is not doing very much damage. Yeah, about a quarter of the health. Wild Charge can do about another 50% is my guess. Yeah, a little bit more.
That did a lot more than I thought.
Yeah, so Shoma's actually got got some good damage here. The grassy terrain is non-trivial, by the way. You don't know that the Arcanine's not going to lock into head smash into the Heatran.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I think that makes
No
sense.
terrestrialization from either end. If that was a Moonblast, that definitely would have been it, but...
Yeah, Dazzling Gleam still doing a ton of damage.
Guess he read the Protect, so... You would have to... Oh, it could be an Earth Power, too.
I don't think Earth Power is stronger, though, to be honest.
Oh, sorry,
it's the Arcanine.
Arcanine,
Yeah, it'd be a little risky, but you could do it.
Oh, it's a Heat Wave, but it missed
This
something.
is on the...
Oh, it missed the Flutter Mane!
Oh no! We were talking about this in game 1. How Heat Wave is just these inaccurate moves. Like they're risky. They're so risky to use.
They're so risky.
Here we go. We do see the Terra out of the Heatran here. Never mind.
Cresselia.
Oh, Terra
Probably wants to live a double up with the Shadow Ball.
Yeah, might have. I mean, honestly, Shadow Ball did like 75% game 1. They might have thought they needed it just to take the Shadow Ball in the first place. Let's see if this is over 50%. But I have a bad feeling about this turn, to be honest.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a lot of damage.
Will they survive? No. Cresselia goes down. What an incredible double up. We see the power of Arcanine Hisui just doing so much damage with a single target, super powerful attacks, and Shoma looks a little defeated.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's a tangent, but I just love like following Shoma's
He's so
expressions.
expressive.
Whether he's winning or like losing, just all very
Yeah.
expressive. Oh,
So the
such
Heat Wave
a-
miss didn't really matter because it wasn't killing 23 from grassy terrain. I mean, it
Yes.
would have gone down this turn. It might have, yeah. So
Yeah, I think you just double into Sylveon here, get the guaranteed KO, and then... Oh, but we see a Protect come out from the Flutter Mane.
I think that makes sense. Like Arcanine, Flare Blitz. This is. I wouldn't be shocked if this did 90%.
Oh.
By 90, I meant 99.
Yeah, I was gonna say 99. Yeah, that Flutter Mane's...
Its Earth Power comes out, but I feel like it's too little too late, to be honest.
Yes, I think that Protect was a really great play from Hirofumi. Like, identified that you honestly almost want the Arcanine to go down so that you can get your free switch in and not risk something else coming in the back. Because, like we said, it only has inaccurate moves to hit the Heatran.
This Flutter Mane was really the key player. I mean, it's interesting because, like, it didn't even come game 1. And I think that's something that top players really, like a skill that top players have, is identifying when a Pokemon needed to come and it didn't. And I think it's going to be a forfeit out of Shoma. So,
yes.
Well played set. I think that, like, Hirofumi really recognized that one of their Pokemon was just so incredibly strong.
I'm thinking about this from more so like how do you really fit this game plan together, given like the grass types. You know, Taunt is a useful tool against some of these other tools, but it's also kind of pressuring. So I get wanting to like leave it back at the beginning, but we're gonna go ahead and get into this game.
I like the little Fanpy.
Oh yeah,
It's
Fanpy is
cute.
awesome.
Yeah.
Great taste.
Great taste. So we're gonna see how the battle's starting out here. We see Amoonguss and Flutter Mane against Tornadus and Flutter Mane. So this is interesting. I mean, the speed of the Flutter Mane is going to be very relevant, right?
You need to stay alive to be able to taunt that Amoonguss, or just like we saw in the finals, everything is going to take a fat nap.
Absolutely. We're going to see a Protect from the Flutter Mane here. So
Yep.
Shohei's popping off. I wonder what's happening.
Looks like he called it.
No. Oh, Protect from the Amoonguss. Okay,
Yeah,
nice
yeah.
play, nice play. I mean, the Citrus Berry and the Amoonguss is just so valuable here, right?
Yep.
Because something like Shadow Ball.
Oh, no.
Not only locking into Shadow Ball, which is a very strong attack, but also using it against Tornadus, calling
Yep.
the Protect correctly there. I
Yep.
feel like Shohei's reads are just so on point. And we
Yep.
do see the Bleakle Storm disconnected. There's going to be a speed drop because the damage is not
Yep.
so meaningful. We are going to see the Terra here. Kiwamu forced to Terra before Shohei, which, in my opinion, makes a fair amount of sense, right?
Yep.
Like, you really can't risk taking a Shadow Ball here, and we're
Yep.
going to get our first glimpse as to the speed stats of these Flutter Manes.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is we're going to see, a taunt, so nothing coming out of this Amoonguss. It might even Pollen Puff, which
That's
would actually
true.
be pretty interesting. Ooh.
Oh, Shohei's Flutter Mane is faster. That's a big deal. Doing a critical hit.
That's a
doing
big deal.
75% of the health. And actually, it's not going to be Shadow Ball. It's going to be Moonblast. I think this is safe because you have Pixie Blade. The damage is going to be comparable.
Yep.
Picking up a KO, actually. So, I mean, like, taking that much damage isn't good. Like, you're kind of down a Pokemon because both your Pokemon are so low. You're not actually down, but it's, like, kind of
Yep.
messy. But, like, getting rid of the Flutter Mane is a big deal, especially given that Tornadus actually managed to make it through the turn, so Tailwind is still on the table here.
Yeah, I think
Ooh.
that Sunny Day and just Dazzling Gleam is pretty safe. Amoonguss is forced to Pollen Puff this turn, which is going to be kind of tough for it to really do anything, so it's probably going to heal anything off of this.
Urshifu, yeah.
It's pretty nice positioning, all things considered.
Yeah, we're going to see a Tailwind here. So, I mean, this is an investment for future turns. It's not going to do much right now. Urshifu going for the Aqua Jet, actually. So Sunny Day might have been a consideration here, but yeah, that's going to be the end of Flutter Mane. Not ideal, honestly.
So what's actually really nice about this Tailwind is that it sets up for the
Rillaboom.
Rillaboom,
Yeah.
and that's going to be really tough to get out of.
Oh, interesting. Huh. I feel like the Sunny Day really wasn't respected there, but maybe, honestly, I don't really know my Mystic Water Urshifu calcs. They,
I think
it probably KO'd through Sun.
It probably would have KO'd through Sun.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense then.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky, right? Like, what if the last Pokemon on Shohei's side is Iron Hands?
Yeah, if it's Iron Hands, this is going to be kind of messy, but the Sunny Day actually going to pay big dividends here. We are going to see the Aqua Jet come out into the Tornadus. That's interesting, because to me that implies... Huh. That implies that you think that your last Pokemon can be Chen Pao, which means it's certainly not Landorus.
Yeah.
Icicle Crash connects. That's very nice. Love when that happens.
Yep. Yeah, it's a big deal.
Big deal. Yeah, critical hit doesn't matter here, as far as I'm aware.
This is actually still looking kind of tough for Kiwamu, right? Because if it's Iron Hands, we don't know,
Okay, Chen Pao protects, so a great move from... Well, let's see if it's double protect. I don't think it will be, though.
I think it, just to... Oh, no. Oh.
Yeah, so a great call there. However, I think that this is still doable because there should be one turn of Tailwind left if I've counted correctly. And with that, taking out the Chen Pao, like Rillaboom will beat Urshifu in a 1v1.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So the Terra Water's coming out here. So there's a lot of damage, honestly.
Yeah.
Even in the Sun.
Even in the Sun, yeah. That's Mystic Water Terra.
Yeah, Mystic Water Terra doing a lot of damage here.
It's doing a ton.
Double protect.
Well, it fails.
Well, let's see if Aqua Jet KOs. Oh,
no,
he doesn't go for it.
Yeah, he just went for this.
Wow. Yeah, I think it makes sense. If Aqua Jet doesn't KO there, you're kind of done for. And if you get the double protect, you win like
that. Was a really, really nice play.
Yeah, you also win if they go for my play with Sucker Punch Woodhammer. So I think it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so wow, really well played by Kiwamu. I mean, it's kind of interesting that like there's these two huge attackers on each side, but it feels like the game was revolving around not them, but getting rid of the partners, right? Like just playing to the end game you wanted.
100%.
And I think Aqua Jet wouldn't have killed based on how much that Surging Trick did, because I think the damage is comparable. Yeah. And it lived with like 18 HP.
I think it's really important to see how this Tornadus set up this end game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like Sunny Day and Tailwind were so impactful.
It would sort of need to be like a double into there you go. Yeah. Nothing doing.
Nothing doing. And even then you wouldn't like one shot the Rillaboom either.
Yeah, that was really, really cool.
Yeah, really well played by Kiwamu. That looked kind of like it looked kind of dicey in the middle, but yeah, really, really well played. One of the things that I would have liked to see from Shohei on turn 2 last game is taking out the Tornadus rather than, because like that way you limit it to one of Taunt, Tailwind, or Sunny Day.
Yes.
Yeah, but we do see an adjustment here. We're leading off with the offensive Pokemon right away, but Heatran is a big adjustment from Kiwamu. Oh, a Terrestrialization early. This might be the Urshifu.
I was thinking it's the Chen Pao actually to
really
get out of this fake out. Yep.
I was looking at the wrong one. I was looking at the Kiwamu's Chen Pao is grass.
It's okay, dog.
This is a really nice play, honestly. It covers a lot of the options here. It covers the fake out.
Yep.
Oh, protect from Urshifu, actually. So he sure will make it through this turn. The question is, will Rillaboom?
Yeah. So this
out?
is a super nice play that covers for everything possible from Rillaboom, except, for an attack.
Icicle Crash.
Yep.
Yeah, very powerful here. Yep. Oh, Rillaboom actually surviving. Although, honestly, between you and me, I think that actually might be bad. I think you wanted the KO there. Heat Wave coming out. Is it gonna get a burn? That's kind of the really big, no burns here.
Shohei is so relieved.
Yeah.
The Terra Poison on sorry, not Terra Poison, the Terra Grass here really makes it so that it forces Shohei to launch that 90% accurate Icicle Crash into it.
He's crossing his fingers.
And
there it is.
Yeah, looks like he got it.
Might survive.
Oh, definitely this one.
But it won't survive the double.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Let's see here. The question is, who did Urshifu target? Because right now, like, barring a flinch, okay.
All right. So.
Oh wow, that does a lot.
But I love this knockoff play from Kiwamu.
Go Heatran! You can live it.
Sorry, Heatran. Thinking of you in these difficult times.
Oh my god.
I love this knockoff play because this Chen Pao is so important to the beginning of the game for Shohei that it's Kiwamu likely knew with this Terrestrialization that there was a chance, right, that Heatran might leave the field, but just keeping the pressure on Shohei with this knockoff, I think is super important.
Yeah, it's probably too risky. There's the Shadow Ball. Yeah, I would have liked to see a Protect here, I think. I think it was kind of the only way back. Oh my god! It's so tanky! Oh, and it gets the KO! Holy cow!
That's crazy. Oh, and even crit.
I guess I would suspect that with Pixie Plate it doesn't matter, but
Dude, that's insane. How much bulk is that?
I think a lot. I don't think you're supposed to be able to survive Choice Spec Shadow Ball. That's pretty ridiculous.
That's insane.
Wait, all of a sudden Kiwamu, who I thought it was kind of over, is suddenly in a really good position.
All right.
Oh wait, hang on. Oh, yeah, this makes sense. So Iron Hand's only a single target damaging move, so by preserving Rillaboom, you're preserving Fake Out.
Yeah.
And so you're able to go for multiple double ups.
Really just locking it up a million ways.
Protect from Flutter Mane here. Because of the Focus Sash as well, you're just in a really nice spot. Fake Out. Oh no, Drain Punch. Oh, hang on. I mean, it's a 1 against 3, but the one, like all three of the one are low HP.
This is nuts. How do you call something like that?
Yeah, it's
like,
pretty wild. Man, if only it had Rock Slide.
If only there was some G-Max Volcalith on the field.
Dude. Okay, here comes Rillaboom switching in here. Icicle Crash can miss. It does not. This is going to do a fair bit of damage, probably 40%. Looks like it.
And it's a Wild Charge.
Actually, picking up the KO on the Fluttermane,
So-
Fluttermane slot.
What's kind of nice here is that it's gonna be tough for Iron Hands to bring it back, but what's gonna be nice here is that you're gonna have to click Sacred Sword or the inaccurate Icicle Crash.
Sacred Sword comes out. That's a lot of
that's a lot of
damage.
damage.
Yeah. And this will wrap it up. Really well played by
That was
Kiwamu.
very, really
yeah,
nice. Oh,
really nice.
Love that pop up.
Yeah.
We go ahead and see the leads, and we see Chien-Pao and Rillaboom coming out from Kiwamu's end. And on Hirofumi, we have Chien-Pao and Arcanine. So I like to see how Kiwamu kind of deals with this offense. He does have fake out pressure, and luckily the Chien-Pao over on Hirofumi's side does not have Ghost Terastallization, so he's guaranteed to get off a fake out. It's just whether he can really make it stick here.
Yep. Yeah, and that Poison Terra is going to protect it, but it's not even going to be an attack into there.
And we see a Sacred Sword coming out into Chien-Pao on Kiwamu's end, already going into Focus Sash. I think the next order is probably going to be this Arcanine, and if it flinches, I think it could be a big... Is it going to... Oh, it gets the Flare Blitz off. And
Huge lead for Hirofumi.
these are both tying at the Adamant nature. That's surprising to me, but Hirofumi got very far with this team. I'm sure he knows what he's doing.
He also had that Intimidate in this case to really just beef it up.
Yes.
And so what I really like about this Urshifu switch-in is that, you know, each Pokemon team is like a house of cards, and once you take down a card, the rest of the house kind of falls around it. So we've seen that the Rillaboom has been knocked out on Kiwamu's side, and now it's just going to kind of be boom, boom, boom from this Urshifu. It has no resists other than the opposing Urshifu left to take the water type attacks.
But we see the Terra, and I believe Hirofumi locked into what I thought he locked into. Oh! But does it survive? It survives, but it gets flinched. That is crucial. Now the Surging Strikes goes into the Heatran that does not care at all.
That's really tough.
That's just the strength of Icicle Crash.
Yeah, Icicle Crash is really defining some of these high-profile matches that we've seen so far. And it's going to be a Heat Wave. Oof, that is a rough way to lose your Chien-Pao.
Yes.
We're gonna see a switch here, and it's the opposing Tornadus. And so that's a little dicey for Kiwamu. I sort of get the feeling that he wanted the battle to play out in a different way than it actually ended up doing. And now that it's a Tornadus off, you gotta be careful.
Yes.
That's a lot of damage.
With the second Pokemon coming in, it probably won't get knocked out when the Bleak Wind Storm becomes double damage. Because usually when moves can hit multiple Pokemon, if it's only hitting one, it gets powered up a little bit.
We were talking a bunch at the beginning of this match, you know, which Tornadus is faster. The interaction between both Tornadus is going to be really important, and I think we both have sort of expected that to play out in the beginning of the game, not in you know, the final turns of the game. So, you know, it's nice to have thought about that, but it's a pretty crazy place that we're in. So, huge sunny day coming off. Let's see what happens here, and it's a Tailwind. So the Urshifu, I believe, was already going to outspeed the Heatran.
Oh, this is not good news. This is definitely surviving. There's no critical hit to bail them out because they're already critting.
Yeah.
So now I think it's up to this Heatran to hit those Heat Waves. Can it hit? Yes!
Oh, whoa.
But, wow, that did a lot less.
That's a big burn. I think going for Surging Strikes is safe just to protect your Pokemon from Bleak Wind. You can also get this. So this is a quad fire resist, which is really nice. And you now threaten the head smash, you know, if you're able to connect it.
Okay, so you see the Tailwinds being mashed over from Kiwamu's end. Went for the surging strikes, as you mentioned. Oh, I think that definitely would have survived the Aqua Jet. So I think that's a great call from you.
Yeah. Well, I think just Urshifu, like from Urshifu's perspective, Tornadus cannot click both an attacking move and a setup move, so you're gonna be able to outspeed him with your Tailwind anyway.
Yes, and I might say that the Urshifu surviving on 2 HP is kind of bad for Hirofumi. Like I would think that he would want the free switch in, but I also just realized Kiwamu doesn't have any Pokemon left except for this Heatran, so maybe even just this extra bit of damage is appreciated. So yeah, let's see. We see the extreme speed doing a pretty good amount, but the Citrus comes out.
So I think it's pretty interesting that Hirofumi chose to rely on the accuracy of Bleak Windstorm. You know, you're gonna need one more to finish this off here.
Yes.
Rather than just the accuracy of Head Smash.
Those are terrible ass.
Yeah,
I guess that makes sense since Heat Wave won't be picking up the Arcanine.
Well, will this be picking up? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well, especially if it's a crit. But so now it's this is every Tornadus player's kind of nightmare. You know, you've done all your work. You've fought as hard as you can, and now you're staring your Bleak Wind right in the face and praying to anything that will listen. And the hands clasped in front of the face is one of the most subtle clues of all.
Yes.
Many trainers miss. But the Tornadus does not, and Hirofumi is gonna take the first game.
I can't believe that's just what happened. It's more eyes on Kiwamu for how he adjusts. So I'm really excited to see what he brings out. And I think we find out here it's going to be a Rillaboom and Heatran for Kiwamu. And over on Hirofumi, it's going to be Tornadus and the Urshifu.
Yep. And so this is a very, very tricky spot for both players.
Yes, it's such a safe switch in somewhere, but I guess because it's not really obvious which slot it will come in.
Yeah.
It would be kind of hard to do that. So maybe it's more about getting the fake out in the right position because I think he can definitely get a sub up here.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. The sub, you could probably the safest play for.
Oh wow!
Huge taunt.
Yeah, I think that was a great play from Hirofumi's end because it was pretty safe for Kiwamu to click fake out into the Urshifu since you wouldn't have to terrestrialize in order to get your sub up safely. But yeah, with the taunt, I think that was safe. But Kiwamu kind of goes above and beyond that again.
Actually, so something.
This is a bleak one. It's missing the Rillaboom. That is really bad news for Hirofumi.
Awful for Hirofumi, but I imagine that Kiwamu.
Oh, and it also missed the head smash into Heatran. That is a terrible, terrible turn for Hirofumi. Wow, and knocks off the choice band.
Wow, that's really tough. But it survives. Well, so some good news for Hirofumi is now he can click. He can try again with a different attack. Clicking taunt into Pokemon means they can't protect anymore, and so Hirofumi removed that possibility from Heatran, and then just the things didn't go his way. But
you see head smash go into the Heatran.
Wow.
That did a lot less than I thought.
It did a lot less than I thought as well. It sounds like Heatran would. I mean, it looks like Heatran would have been sticking around. You know?
Yes. I guess also with seeing how it survived the obstacle crash earlier, I imagine it has a lot of defense investment.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think we might see a double KO happening here.
Think again, maybe.
I guess it depends on whether we see the Heatran have some accuracy on this turn.
Oh, here comes Tornadus. I think it's interesting that Tornadus is coming, ready to fight its friend. And now that you've removed the Tornadus, you can match Tailwind, put up your own sun, protect your Pokemon from Urshifu without even having to worry about Terra types. Allowed his Pokemon to KO Hirofumi's Tornadus, and now can reap the rewards.
Yeah, definitely. So I think Kiwamu is excellent in adjustment, just knowing when to bring in the Tornadus and kind of just stop Hirofumi at the lead a bit more. So yeah, we see the Tailwind come out. Chimp out still faster since Hirofumi has the Tailwind and knocks out the Tornadus. I guess that's one Pokemon that is not trained to survive Icicle Crash.
Or it might be, but it's not trained to survive a Life Orb one.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's that Life Orb.
Good call. Okay, so yeah, that's a pretty big survival from this Rillaboom.
And I think it's really interesting, something we haven't talked about much this game is how Protect is allowing each player to exert a lot of control over this game. So imagine if it were something like a Choice Scarf Urshifu.
Yes.
You would kind of just have to let it fake the Flutter Mane right
Yes.
here, because of the fake out and double up combo, which would exert a different pressure over the board. But now, because you can just double protect safely here, you can do a lot more with your Urshifu next turn.
Absolutely. And we see the translation coming from Hirofumi into Poison, reading a Fairy type attack coming out from the Flutter Mane and hoping to get some big damage this turn. Oh, and it outspeeds, gets a big Icicle Crash and knocks out the Flutter Mane.
Wow.
I don't think it could have gone any better.
No. Because I guess you always want to be able to get 2 attacks out of it, but what if you just got 1 really good attack out of it? I think that's
We're getting very philosophical. I like this.
Well, listen, that's what I do, dog.
We're a Philosophy 101 class. You didn't know that, everyone?
Yeah. Ethics of Life Orb.
So yeah, we see Kiwamu go for the Terra Grass resisting attacks from the Urshifu that was not getting faked out this turn. Hirofumi probably reads that and goes for the close combat into the Rillaboom instead.
Yep.
And yeah, I think we'll now have to see if the Heatran is going to be able to get the Terra Blast off into the Urshifu. And yep, that's exactly what we see happening.
All right, just bringing it closer to this pretty thrilling showdown. I think it's really interesting how Kiwamu can maintain getting that sort of KO while still, being able to survive attacks like Icicle Crash.
Oh! Faster. The Tailwind. Yes,
yeah.
Talk about the Tailwinds matching late, so...
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I think...
It's very smart.
Yes. Yeah, Hirofumi definitely had to respect that substitute. And
Yeah.
now, I guess Hirofumi only had an 81% chance to win.
Yes.
Assuming the Heat Wave KOs, of course.
Yes.
But
Well, actually...
let's see, does the Tailwind expire now? Yep,
Yes, it
this
does.
Expires.
You get a little bit further from that KO every turn that grassy terrain...
True, so I think... Oh, we don't even see a Protect. Wow.
That's the game. Honestly, really, really well played by Hirofumi, and I think that, as we were saying all set, it's this Chen Pao that was the difference maker.
Yes.
Looking forward to seeing this clash here in the loser semifinals between Shoma and Shohei. Again, 2 world champions clashing it off, and yeah, let's see if Shoma, the content creator that he is now, if he's still got what it takes to compete here with a world champion in this generation.
I'm so excited for this. On Shoma's side, you have got the Iron Hands and the Cresselia paired up against Shohei's Landorus and the Flutter Mane. So a lot of offensive pressure coming out from Shohei very early on, both on the physical and the special offensive side.
Or the other option, a very classical play throughout the years of VGC, and this is what he's going for. Fake out and Trick Room.
Yes, fake out going straight into the Landorus because you cannot fake out the Ghost, but Iron Hands is going to take a huge amount of damage from that Moonblast for its trouble staying in on the field. There's the Trick Room from Cresselia, so the nice synergy of making sure that Landorus cannot go for any offensive damage.
Maybe the Vault Switch this turn, or just going for the full-out offensive. And once again, no terrestrialization on either side. It is just the Vault Switch, so Shoma taking the opportunity to reposition a little bit.
And it does give Shoma the opportunity to bring the Amoonguss onto the field. The Moonblast comes out, so double targeting into the Flutter Mane, not doing too much, but it does get the drop. That could be very beneficial later on.
Yeah, that's exactly what Shoma wanted to see here. So even though Moonblast just doing a little bit of chip damage, the chance to drop the special attack coming in very handily. Amoonguss takes that like a champ, and the Stomping Tantrum, I believe, here was targeted into the Cresselia.
It's true. There could be terrestrialized options on either side of Shohei's side. You could go for, again, with that Landorus, something like the Terra Flying to be able to hit Terra Blast into that Amoonguss that could be causing a little bit of disruption later on. But no terrestrialization. It's going to be the Grass Knot coming out, connecting into that Landorus, does a little bit of damage. Cresselia are going to try and follow up, but it only just pushes it over the 50% bar. And here's the Stomping Tantrum going to deal even more damage this turn with a critical
and
hit.
A critical hit. Wow, a big knockout here, and you can see the trainers. Yeah, Shoma were definitely not happy with how that went. And maybe the Heatran doesn't even have to go for the Terra this turn to be safe from a Spore, because it's pseudo protected by the Lunar Blessing. But nope, instead it's the Helping Hand, though Shohei shaking his head. Looks like he was predicting something else. Well, it's just the Protect on the Amoonguss, even though that would have been a free Spore into the Heatran. Oh, it's a double Protect actually.
Just a double protect, so burning through those here on this turn. Cresselia trying to help out the Heatran, but to no avail. It doesn't have an ability like the Urshifu's with Unseen Fist, isn't going to be able to get any damage here at all. And again, another turn of Trick Room being burnt through.
We haven't seen the last Pokemon, if I'm not mistaken, so there could still be maybe an Iron Hands waiting for him, or the Urshifu. That both of them, the Heatran kind of wants to terrestrialize, but this is the last turn of Trick Room, so Shoma is really looking to do a lot of damage this turn. Okay, final Pokemon just revealed. And it is just the Spore on the Heatran. Now let's see if Shoma predicted this and went for the Lunar Blessing.
This would be some beautiful synergy as well if Cresselia can just help wake up. There we go. It's the Lunar Blessing. Shohei knows, smiling, seeing that was coming through on this particular turn. So now that Heatran's going to be able to wake up and fire back out the damage. The Heat Wave gets the knockout on the Amoonguss.
Wow. Boosted with a Life Orb. That is a lot of damage coming into the Amoonguss, knocking it straight out.
Something like a Surging Strike. Unseen Fist going to go through any potential protect as well to try and get the knockout before Trick Room comes up again.
Yeah, there's also a big mind game this turn as Shohei's Urshifu is running Taunt. So we've already seen that to great effect in some of the earlier matches. But the question is now, did the Urshifu just go for the Taunt? This would shut down any plans that Shoma might have had with Trick Room. However, if you don't take care of the Heatran, then that means that the Urshifu would have been under KO pressure from the Terra Grass Terra Blast. So yeah, I don't know if Shohei called this play, as instead we're seeing a defensive Terra from this Cresselia to avoid potentially being knocked out by the Specs boosted Shadow Ball from Flutter Mane.
Yep, drops its Psychic typing, gets Fairy instead. That's going to be able to take Shadow Ball much better than it would have in its Psychic typing. And Heatran actually left the field. It's going to be Moonblast once again, however, does get the knockout on the Iron Hands that rejoined for that Heatran. Would have been nice as well, maybe thinking if that's going to be a Terra Grass Heatran there, just trying to get some big damage. And speaking of damage, Urshifu's on the rampage.
Yep, there is a big Surging Strikes. However, Cresselia, being so bulky, just barely takes over 50% here from the 3 hits and will be able to set up the Trick Room. However, Shoma probably kicking himself a little bit there as, yeah, of course, with the Surging Strikes, the move that Urshifu went for, it didn't really matter whether that Cresselia was a Psychic type or a Fairy type going into this turn.
Exactly, and you can't exactly leave the Flutter Mane unchecked either with those choice specs. It's going to be another helping hand, however, so all the eggs going into the Heatran basket, trying to get some damage, but Urshifu going to be going first here, goes straight down into the Heatran with the Aqua Jet, not enough to be able to get the KO, though Heatran still in here going for the Earth Power, and it is enough to get the knockout, but Flutter Mane still in prime position to go for another one of those powerful Moonblasts.
Yeah, I wonder if he doubled up on the Heatran, of course, one of the very, very few Pokemon with a quadruple resistance to Fairy type attacks. I'm not sure if that would be enough, however, with a Life Orb, okay, Shohei probably wasn't so sure about this either. Goes on the Cresselia, and you can see Shoma there. He was really hoping that Cresselia could somehow take the hit, because then maybe next turn you can gain some HP back with Lunar Blasting potentially, or just, yeah, go on the offense with the Cresselia. Actually,
is Heat Wave going to be enough?
Yeah, I think you need a crit on the Flutter Mane. Heatran only, he can still do 2 more attacks, yeah, with the Life Orb, but it's coming down to the wire, yeah. Heat Wave connecting with both. Heatran dropping down its HP due to the Life Orb, and then because of the 2 ticks of Life Orb, this Moonblast, even though, yeah, as I said, quadruple resisted, will be enough to knock out the Heatran, and Shohei will take game 1, very well maneuvered by Shohei, I would say, but also kudos to Shoma.
Yeah, I think we might have just seen the Sylveon locked in there as well, so that's definitely a turn up for the books. I think the Iron Hands needs to be piloted a little bit stronger for Shoma, but let's jump into the game. It's going to be a full physical offense from Shohei here. Lander is still out front and center, but paired up this time with the Urshifu, and then for Shoma, you have got the Iron Hands and Cresselia once again.
Yeah, if you're in Shoma's shoes, you really want to go for that fake out. Just to stop this taunt from happening. It's a protect coming out here from Shohei, but I think Shoma is pretty fine with that.
Yeah, exactly. Lander is, of course, unable to... Oh, no, this one can protect, actually. Is running the safety goggles, but choosing not to. Going straight for the Stomping Tantrum into that opposing Iron Hands. A huge chunk of damage. Another one of those is going to be able to get the knockout. But Cresselia free and unchecked from that taunt to go for the Trick Room here. So once again, that speed momentum coming right back to Shoma.
It's hard to come up with a plan for Shoma. Maybe just wall switch again into the Urshifu slot so you can reposition here under the Trick Room. And the switch up is exactly what we're going to see.
Yeah, you called it perfectly there. Urshifu leaving the field, wanting to come back maybe when Trick Room is over. And it's actually going to be the Iron Hands coming in, not an Amoonguss here. Volt Switch, however, is going to be the move choice, doing minimal damage to the opposing Iron Hands, but it does give Shoma the opportunity to pivot in one of the Pokemon that's going to really benefit from this Trick Room.
It's got to be the Sylveon. Yeah. So I don't think it's like the perfect situation for Sylveon to hit the field, but it is a pretty good one. So, well, of course, Iron Hands could still go for a fake out on the next turn, but switching in here, actually the Stomping Tantrum should hurt quite a bit. Yeah, Sylveon is really the damage dealer, and Shoma needs to make sure that it makes it through this turn and decides to go for the Lunar Blasting here, which I think is the right choice this turn.
I think it's the only way to enable that Sylveon to stay here, because that Stomping Tantrum, we saw how much it did in the first Connect.
Yeah, I wonder if there's even another option than to just hope that you are faster here and just go for it.
There's going to be the Protect coming out from this opposing Landorus, though. Doesn't want to take any of the Fairy-type moves that will be coming its way. It is, however, going to be felled before it's even able to go for a move by the Iron Hands here. Just going for that Drain Punch.
And we were talking about the Wild Charge, but no, Shohei, he knows his speed tiers, he knows his damage calcs. Just a tiny optimization, going for the Drain Punch instead, recovering just a little bit of HP instead of taking a little bit of recoil. So once again, Shohei has maneuvered through this couple of turns of Trick Room masterfully, and is ready to reposition once again to pick up the pieces, and yeah, is making a strong case to advance to the losers finals here.
I like this switch as well because it allows Shohei the opportunity to see, hey, is Shoma going to go for the Terrestrialization on that Heatran?
Yep.
The answer is confirmed. Yes, we are going to have the Grass-type Heatran on the field, and that's something that maybe the Landorus wants to contend with later, going for something like the Terra Flying to be able to apply some pressure with the Terra Boss later, but you don't want to hard commit to that until you know. We're going to see the Helping Hands come out here from the Cresselia as well, just to give a little bit of a boost to the Heatran as it goes forward. Drain Punch, of course, not going to be dealing as much damage now that Steel typing has gone away. Grass typing going to be able to take that reasonably well, and of course Iron Hand's going to be leaving itself a little bit vulnerable too. Heat Wave comes out, good damage across the board, but nowhere near enough to get some knockouts.
Yeah, wow, this Helping Hand Life Orb Heatran really doing a ton of damage, but it looks like Shoma just wants to go for on the offensive this turn.
Yes, I think, you know, the Trick Room turns got eaten into so much the first time around by that Sylveon that just wasn't able to capitalize on it. Maybe your adjustment in the towards the second half of this game too is just to go straight onto that offensive. We're going to see the adaptation as well by Shohei bringing in the Chi Power from game 1 to game 2, and a very bold terrestrialization here on that Urshifu. That's going to leave itself very vulnerable to something like a Grass Terra Blast coming out from that Heatran.
Yeah, is this going to be an Aqua Jet? I mean, he switched in the Chien Power, and yeah, it looks like it is an Aqua Jet.
Is it going to be enough, though, going down into...
No.
Oh, no, really minimal damage.
No, just the Searching Strikes.
Yeah,
but
Surging
with the
Strikes.
Chien Power, that just gives him the defense drop that he needed to power through that Heatran. And yeah, there was no switch into the Iron Hands that, yeah, maybe could have brought it back for Shoma, but even then you're staring down a 2v4 in Trick Room. So yeah, nicely played here. And Shoma, who just tried to go on the offensive due to that terrestrialization on the Urshifu, this Moonblast, not enough to take out that Urshifu. And yeah, once again, only 2 Pokemon left for Shoma, while Shohei still has all 4 remaining.
Yeah, honestly, Urshifu and Chien-Pao are a match made in heaven. They have such great synergy amongst themselves. Chien-Pao doesn't even need to attack, it just needs to be on the field to be able to help out the Urshifu. It has left here Shohei in a position where he can go for some repositioning, brings in the Landorus for good measure just to intimidate that Iron Hand, so it's not going to be able to deal too much, considering as well, you know, you've got the Water Urshifu, that's going to hit hard from something like a Volt Switch. Fake Out itself did enough damage there, possibly even allowing the Cresselia to try and get a KO on that next turn. We have got the Trick Room coming into effect for the second time, however, it's just whether there's enough that this Iron Hand and Cresselia can do to all of the Pokemon on the opposing side. That Chien-Pao's also in the back. There's 4 whole Pokemon for Shohei here to rotate through.
I don't really know what Shoma can even do to get the knockout on the Landorus at this point.
Well, we're going to try and see the Iron Hands taking one of these Aqua Jets. It is going to go for the Drain Punch, like you said, trying to get a little bit of HP recovery, but it is going to be very underwhelming and not nearly enough to be able to bypass the offensive power that this Urshifu has. Cresselia, however, is like, you don't have to take another Aqua Jet. I've got you. I'm going to go for this Moonblast, finally felling one of Shohei's Pokemon. But there are just so many in the back to contend with. The Chien Power as well coming in with something like the Sucker Punch. That's going to be able to apply a lot of priority damage.
And this is a double up. Nicely played here by Shohei, knowing, of course, Iron Hands is carrying the Assault Vest, so cannot really go for a Protect. And instead it will get knocked out with the Aqua Jet and Stomping Tantrum combination.
Exactly, not when you've just got so much you can rotate through with here. Going for something like the Fake Out, the Stomping Tantrum will just keep whittling away at this opposing Cresselia. And yes, it can heal itself up a little bit with something like the Lunar Blessing, but it's not going to be able to deal enough damage to get the KOs in return, and you've got to get KOs in order to win the battle.
Exactly, and Shohei can just really switch around here with his Pokemon, even though they're all relatively low, and both Chien-Pao and Iron Hands are weak to the Moonblast. If it's a 3v1, I mean, after all, in double battles, it's just so easy to gang up on one Pokemon. And with Fake Out and also Sucker Punched here, Shohei knows that this is curtains, selects to forfeit the game. Both players sharing some words there after the game. And Shohei, our reigning world champion defeats a former world champion, and we'll move on here to the losers finals.
Yeah, and the lead's coming out the blocks again. A nice diverse showing here from Shohei with both physical and special attackers on the field with the Flutter Mane and the Landorus, and against the Heatran and the Urshifu for Kiwamu.
Yeah, this is really risky in my opinion. Heatran's gonna go for a protector, and we actually don't see a Terra, despite the fact that both of Kiwamu's Pokemon are under threat of getting KO'd here. Energy Ball coming out here. We do see the value in Energy Ball, but it survives. And Urshifu actually outspeeds the Landorus, which does not always happen. It goes for a Surging Strikes here. Looks like it's gonna be enough here. Wow, what an aggressive prediction there. Basically saying, like, okay, your Flutter Mane is choice specs. I know you wanna, like, you don't want to like lose it right away to my Terra. You're gonna go for Energy Ball, and we see the value out of Kiwamu's very bulky Urshifu there.
That's what you were just talking about, the investment and really paying off, allowing the Urshifu to survive that. You don't see that every day. Yeah, the Heatran seems to be in a bit of an unchecked position at the moment. I like seeing this Terrestrialization on that Landorus as well, going for the flying Terra. Going to be able to apply pressure with something like, Terra Blast flying into that opposing Urshifu. But the Sucker Punch is going to come through, get that knockout. And I think you're right. This was really great. Otherwise, those Surging Strikes can play a lot of pressure in this turn.
Yeah, but the Terra flying, is this going to be a Terra Blast? It is, I believe, into the Heatran, predicting a Terra Grass, and Kiwamu just like basically be like playing the ultimate game of chicken, saying every single turn, a big miss.
Big miss
on
into
who?
which Pokemon?
Okay, I would say that's like probably more favored. Maybe we'll see a burn. Haha.
Commentator's curse.
Guys, look at that
difference,
World Champ
baby.
difference, baby. I felt that one. But yeah, seriously, Kiwamu has every turn been in a position where both his Pokemon were under threat of being KO'd, and he still hasn't Terra'd. He's just sat there and been like, you're not gonna go for it.
Yeah, and there's not really anything that Shoei can do about it, even if he knows. I mean, he could go for a Pollen Puff into the Rillaboom, but I think Kiwamu would be very happy seeing that because once again, the Amoonguss isn't threatening anything next turn either, and this cool item choice here with the Citrus Berry now activating thanks to the substitute.
Yeah, I really like to see this again. Good defensive positioning for Kiwamu here. And yes, the Amoonguss just able to go for a Pollen Puff. Not really going to be doing too much to that opposing Rillaboom here as well, particularly with the recovery. That's Pokemon that both Rillaboom and Heatran can benefit from. Landorus not so lucky though.
Just goes to show how difficult it is in Japan to qualify for the national championships even, because Kiwamu wasn't even qualified to play in the nationals.
Such a high caliber of players all day here in the tournament. I think it's nice as well, Landorus able to get that KO against the Rillaboom, just one less threat to have to contend with, but Heat Wave is going to be putting a big hole in that HP bar of the opposing Amoonguss, and nice to get a little bit of damage on the Landorus as well.
I almost said maybe it'll burn, but I
saw your face over there.
I got very excited. Okay, we are going to see a Pollen Buff here. I mean, yeah, this is one of the strengths of Substitute Heatran, which is that at a certain point it becomes very committal for your opponent to like go after it, right? Because in order to stop it from clicking Heat Wave, you really need to attack it with both Pokemon and have it not Terra. But Chen Pao in the back here, arguably one of the best Pokemon you could have as a final Pokemon here. I mean, Heatran on its own is going to be difficult to remove, but adding in Chen Pao is just kind of icing on the cake here, especially given when the Terra type, an unusual Terra type, but it's actually grassier. So
yeah, that's one bulky Heatran.
Well, it hasn't Terra'd yet, so it is a 4 times resist.
Yeah, so once again, a great prediction. Once again, like he played this game on the previous turn, not terrestrializing the Heatran, which now allows him to terrestrialize his Qianpao. Very clever. Just at some point I was thinking, at some point you just might as well go for the Terra on the Heatran just because you're gonna end up terrestrializing it anyway. But nope, Kiwamu had different plans, terrestrializing the Qianpao here and making this super safe here against the Amoonguss.
The kind of the genius of this play here is that this eliminates a mind game, right? Because you can only Icicle Crash one Pokemon. You can also Heat Wave 0 Pokemon. We're going to see a big miss there. But I think that's Spore from the Amoonguss into the Chen Pao?
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, otherwise, like if you let's say you go for the Icicle Crash into Amoonguss and then it protects, you miss a Heat Wave, and then Landorus takes you down to Sash. Now you risk losing to a double protect or like maybe an Icicle Crash miss. But with Terra Grass, you're able to basically do this and end the game.
Yeah, and it does hit, and that'll be it for the first game.
I think what's really cool about inviting a lot of strong players and you just know you have to play out of your mind is the fact that like you can't really do like too many safe plays, and at the same time you also know your opponent understands the pressure situations, right?
Yeah.
Like you aren't going to just expect moves that are ineffective going to a Pokemon, or maybe you will because they're going to overthink it, right? So I think like the fact that they don't have to like fine tune their playing and play safe just makes it for a great show.
I think we saw that in game 1 as well. You know, straight away that Flutter Mane being baited with the energy ball and then going down. If Flutter Mane comes again for Shohei, which it has done, I want to see it utilized a little bit more. I don't want to see it go down in turn 1, maybe preserved a little bit before the end. And it's going to be a Flutter Mane apiece, but this time a nice adjustment from Kiwamu as well with that Tornadus that we were talking about earlier on the field.
But it's actually Kiwamu who switches things up in a big way, and I think has caught his opponent off guard here, who probably was expecting an Urshifu lead and hence decided to go with the Amoonguss on his own.
Oh, I think we actually saw this lead in the first game of the set, and except in that time the Amoonguss protected.
I think Kiwamu really likes going for these change-ups where he shows dominance with one Pokemon, makes your opponent hyper-focus on it, and just totally throw them off with a different one.
Yeah, this allows then Kiwamu to make a relatively safe terrestrialization into Fairy, knowing that he will not go down this turn, knowing that the Amoonguss is taunted, and can go for a lot of damage this turn.
Well, unless Sunny Day activates Photosynthesis in the wrong way.
That's true, and Amoonguss staying in as well, even though it's taunted, you know, not able to do too much.
Sorry, I just want to translate. The opposing Flutter's was a speed boost, and Kiwamu's was a special attack boost.
Okay, so a difference, and there's the speed already paying off, going straight away for that Shadow Ball. The Terra typing, of course, allowing it to be able to stay, but it gets the drop.
Not super important right yet, but it comes down to, is this Moonblast enough for the knockout? And it is not! Oh, so we see the side Fallen Puff, and all of a sudden, Shohei definitely not out of the woods yet, since Kiwamu with Tornadus has the option to go for a Tailwind, get speed control in his favor, but definitely much better than if that Flare Mane was just knocked out.
Wait, actually, is it? Because now, like, it's not like anything on Shohei's side can switch into this Moonblast, right? So isn't this just a free Tailwind with Tornadus? Like, in a sense, like, I actually kind of think, oh, interesting. We're not seeing a Moonblast here. We're actually going for a Dazzling Gleam. I don't know if I'd expect this to pick up a KO. This could be a turning point.
It's gonna be close. It's been going.
It's enough. Maybe Kiwamu just knowing his clocks there, wanting to get a little bit of chip on that Amoonguss, Shohei expecting, I guess, his Flutter Mane to go down, goes for the Pollen Puff. Is that Flutter Mane in range of a Sucker Punch?
Let's find out. Not quite, Marcus, not quite.
Once again, Kiwamu with the spreads here.
Bulk for days.
Oh
But
my
we just need
goodness.
one more inaccurate move to connect, and this could just be it for Shohei.
Focus are activating, but now the Tornadus is ready.
Oh, not yet.
The anticipation is building.
You can see the
We're on
players.
the edge of our seats
They
over
know
here.
what's
Come on.
Is it going to
Both.
connect?
Oh, but Amoonguss survives. I think that might be too little too late, especially if the last Pokemon is Urshifu. If Urshifu is the final Pokemon here, Urshifu and Sun is, Oh, the taunt ended. Hey, don't worry guys, the taunt ended.
Game changer right there.
I did miss that. I like plays like this where you basically force your opponent. Like, basically here, it's like, I don't need Flutter Mane to win this game, but if you don't Aqua Jet me, you will lose immediately. And I think that that's like a really like good type of play because it's buying time for the Tornadus to wake up while Amoonguss...
Cannot really do anything.
Yeah, like, that's kind of surprising the amount of times we've seen Amoonguss just get stuck doing nothing, you know? Like, it's a really strong
games
Pokemon.
in a row.
Yeah, but that's I think something you were saying earlier, Yuki, that this is really Kiwamu's game, and he's the one who's putting Shohei in the positions where you're pinned down. There's not a lot you can do. You have to go for that Aqua Jet, like you were saying, and really commanding how these turns are being played out.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
and the
so
perfect
commanding.
answer in the back against this. Kiwamu knows it.
I think that, like,
sure.
it's really interesting to see Rillaboom because I kind of typically think that Amoonguss beats Rillaboom because of its ability to spore around its, like, partners. But here we're seeing Rillaboom just, like, basically being used to, like, completely wall Amoonguss in a meaningful way. So, yeah, Tornadus going to stay asleep here, but it would take... I'm going to say it would take a miracle to win this one, to be completely honest. Like, even getting every turn correct for multiple turns in a row with the Sun Up, it's just like your only move is Surging Strikes to do damage. And, I mean, Pollen Puff might be a 5-hit KO.
Yeah.
It goes for the double protect. Doesn't get
Okay.
it.
And yeah.
Oh, Shohei's taking the headphones off.
Yeah.
Well, to everyone at home wondering, how can you even stop Shohei? I guess, yeah.
Bop.
It's one
take a look
Kiwamu.
here.
Build bulky spreads, I think, is the answer, right?
Yeah, I mean,
bulk
Yeah, so
prevails.
Shohei just got double eliminated by him, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Knocked down
Yes.
to losers bracket and now eliminated. Wow. Yeah, very, very well played here from Kiwamu. And yeah, definitely a team that I would look out for if I had any more Regulation D tournaments coming up.
Certainly. I just think it's so cool that I feel like Kiwamu was able to take this match, not even just from the team training that we talked so much about, but also just in his playing too, right? Like
Yeah,
it wasn't
yes.
just the team was not the only thing that carried him. It definitely carried him, but he also had to like live up to it too. And I think just the way how much he outpredicted Shohei in these turns just really put him up on top. And their first match was like, are they going to lead Tornadus? Is one of them going to leave in the back and things like that? And in the first game, they both just had it in the back and it came in the end game. But yeah, in this case, it seems like it might be a repeat of that game where we see Hiromi lead with the Chen Pao Urshifu Water, whereas Kiwamu leads with the Rillaboom Urshifu Water that we just talked about.
Oftentimes Shen Pao will run Terra Ghost, but one of the advantages of Terra Ghost is that over Terra Poison is the immunity to fake out. So we're actually just going to see a switch out immediately here into the Tornadus.
Yes, and it has a rocky helmet, so if the Surging Strike goes into that Tornadus, I think this Urshifu might take as much damage as that Tornadus does.
Oh, yeah, it does hit here, and we are going to see a lot of recoil, although interestingly enough, the Rillaboom does not go for the fake out here, which I think is interesting personally.
Yeah, using the Tornadus as a switch into Urshifu, pretty clever because it allows you to delay Tailwind for one turn and also get all of that recoil damage on the Urshifu.
Yeah, oh, we see the U-turn cannon KO, no! So, yeah, if this Urshifu Water is trained to be faster than the opposing Tornadus, then an Aqua Jet could potentially pick up that Tornadus before a Tailwind can even be set up.
Oh, or you have your
yeah.
own Tornadus, and if you are faster, you could set up
can go-
Tailwind to ensure that Aqua Jet
Because
would
the speed
KO
order will be
first.
updated immediately,
Yes.
so it could be Tailwind, double Urshifu's speed, and then immediately Aqua Jet. So
We see that Hirofumi actually doesn't retreat at all, so maybe reading that Kiwamu would read him to not do that. So
There's a lot of mind games
reading
going on.
happening here, but we see the Terastallization happen on Hirofumi's end, just goes for the Tailwind straight up.
Oh, this could be really bad for Kiwamu if that Urshifu
Oh.
knocks out the Tornadus before it gets to go for any support moves.
Oh, but
it's gonna be
Kiwamu
close.
Oh, I think it
Oh.
lives. I think it lives.
Yeah, I think it's...
Oh my goodness, what a clutch survival. And here, actually delaying the Tailwind gives you an advantage here.
Oh, but he missed the Liquid Storm onto Tornadus.
That's
Okay.
huge.
Oh.
That's huge because I think he also doubled up on the Urshifu. Of course,
Yeah.
he also needs to ensure that taking out the priority
Okay.
so that Hirofumi cannot do to him what he could have done to Hirofumi that turn, right? And taking out the Torn with the Aqua Jet next turn. So yeah, taking out the Urshifu is good for Kiwamu, but missing on the Tornadus, definitely not what he wanted to see.
But I would like to see the Extreme Speed first, and then be able to have a Flutter Mane that can kind of do whatever it wants to the opponent because it knows it's immune to Extreme Speed.
Yeah, I totally agree. Switching Flutter Remain in preemptively could cause it to
This
take,
could be
like, a
bad news
rock
if Aqua
slide.
Jet is what is used by the Urshifu, but it doesn't. It goes for just the Detect. So what does this Arcanine lock into?
Oh, it is Extreme Speed, and
Wow.
crucially, Extreme Speed is a higher priority move than Prankster Tailwind. So although Tornadus does have the ability to set up Tailwind before other moves like go off, here it won't. And actually switching out the Chen Pao here.
He just reads him like a buck here, just fakes out and Surging Strikes the Arcanine slot. Wow.
Although honestly, the thing worth noting is that like Arcanine was locked into Extreme Speed, and if you had taken the KO in the partner slot here, Fluttermane would always win 1 versus 1 because of the choice ban. But I think this is still a good play. I mean, the Tornadus is super low. It's in range of Aqua Jet whenever you want it. Like, I think this is a really nice play still from Kiwamu.
Absolutely. So we see the fake out.
So is the first hit gonna do it?
I'll take bets. I'm gonna say no.
I think so.
Oh,
it was a crit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you called without the crit.
So you
That
want
makes
to see
sense.
3 Fainted Tigers? Is that what you're saying?
The defense drop and life orb are still in play here,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. And I wonder if Kiwamu has forgotten about that as he goes for the Sucker Punch.
Oh!
Big KO here on the Urshifu with a Life Orb Sucker Punch, and Hirofumi taking out a big threat here. on
And
his
he
opponent's
wants this
team.
Liquid Storm to hit so badly. It connects.
does.
Does it faint? Nope. Not even close. Thank you to the Assault Vest.
Yeah, still some good damage, and now no Woodhammer. It's just the knockoff, as it seems, knocking off the Life Orb. I don't know if that's gonna help. Maybe with some rolls with the Fluttermane that he has in the back.
Icicle
let's
Crash coming
see.
out. Wait, is Tailwind active? Oh, it survives.
No. Oh, he gets the
there's
flinch.
Oh my
flinch.
god.
Oh, and he
no.
double hits.
Oh, my
wow.
goodness.
What a way to end this game 1. And I think maybe Kiwamu was on the right track there, going for the knockoff. Yeah, getting rid of that life orb boost, knowing that his Flutter Mane is bulky enough to take the unboosted Icicle Crash, still a very strong move. But unfortunately for Kiwamu, yeah, that flinch chance, coming in so handy.
Like, I think there was a safe path forward there, and so that just feels really bad. And something that really worries me is that we've seen Kiwamu constantly be adjusting the Pokemon that they bring, and this time, for the first time, it feels like in a while, they have not switched up the Pokemon they've brought. They've brought the exact same four, and I feel like Kiwamu is strongest when they are switching up the Pokemon that they're bringing.
Yes.
So going for a fake out here would be extraordinarily risky.
Oh, I think, I don't think there's like a...
Okay, I'm glad you didn't go for that.
Alrighty. Oh, sheesh.
Now the Surging Strikes instead, though, I think that could have ended the game, though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, once again, Hirofumi making the play of switching in the Tornadus. I think that's a very nice strategy here, just to get all the recoil on the Urshifu. But nope, this time Kiwamu actually takes a lesson here from Hirofumi, switches in his own Tornadus. While it doesn't have the Rocky Helmet, still a little bit of recoil done to that Rillaboom. And with U-turn, that adds up. And now Kiwamu is the one who can reposition a little bit better.
Here, what's interesting is that there aren't really great ways to get through this Rillaboom, right? I mean, you kind of have to rely on Bleak Wind Storm, which is never a position that I personally want to be in. As we do see Taunt coming out here, so Kiwamu...
Wow, what a risky play.
Yeah, like, I don't know if we knew whose Tornadus was faster. Maybe we knew from the first set. Was that Taunt failing?
It was a Tailwind failing.
Okay, yeah, nice. But U-turn here...
Yeah, nice play from Hirofumi, predicting the Protect. And on Kiwamu's side, there's actually no Pokemon really in the back, maybe besides his own Rillaboom that wanted to take a Wood Hammer there.
Yeah.
So getting it off the field is nice for Hirofumi, but I guess Kiwamu is also kind of relieved. But as we say that with the Arcanine Hisui, there's another Pokemon joining the field that has a pretty positive matchup into both the Flutter Mane and the Tornadus on Kiwamu's side. But it looks like Kiwamu wants to go on the offensive, but he's aiming at the Tornadus, if I saw that correctly.
Yeah, the thing about this play is that you have two Pokemon on the field that are your best two Pokemon and kind of your only two Pokemon when it comes to getting rid of the opposing Rillaboom, and you are leaving them in front of a potential double KO here, and including banking on a rocks or on a Bleak Wind hit, if not even more. So the Terra Fairy Moonblast with PT Play doing a lot. The special attack drop is only relevant depending on Bleak Wind here.
Oh,
Bleak
he
Wind
double
does
hits.
connect. So that's good. I mean, that is good. Too bad this can't flinch. There's a speed drop though. That could be relevant, right?
Yeah, let's keep that in mind. But now the important question is if it is Rock Slide and will it connect?
Flare Blitz. Wow, so just really reading into the fact that Kiwamu did not bring Heatran, because I think being locked into that could be pretty dangerous. So yeah, good play on Hirofumi's end for just thinking it wouldn't come into this matchup.
Oh, actually a switch out here. I wonder if we're going to see a U-turn repositioning. Oh wait, what's coming in here?
So this is a Qian Pao. So definitely sacrificing the Focus Sash for better positioning.
He's the life orb.
Oh, right.
So he can afford to do that.
Oh, yes.
But he has the faster Rillaboom, so he can also just do that.
Oh, there's a
Bleak Wind
miss.
misses.
And it misses a Qian Pao.
Oh no.
Huh.
Although honestly, the Urshifu seems to me to be the bigger problem here. Like,
I agree. So there's a
Could
Sword of
swing
Ruin
this
active
far.
on the field. I would believe that Kiwamu's Rillaboom can knock out Hirofumi's with Sword of Ruin. Do you guys have faith?
nah. For some reason, Terra still feels like it resists more than Terra
More than grass.
grass. Yeah.
I agree. I fully
Here we
agree.
go.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, a
Nice.
huge KO.
That's absolutely massive.
That's omega big.
I think Urshifu just wins him the game
And
now.
you know what's funny is if that
Icicle
hadn't been.
Crash, KOs, the Rillaboom.
Yeah, I was thinking that if you saved it for Terra Normal, do you think Sucker Punch Extreme Speed could maybe take out with Sword of Ruin? Like it probably does a lot if I had to
Yeah.
guess. So actually, yeah, interesting, especially with the Life Orb from Sucker Punch boost. But
Not over.
This feels a little risky to be honest. There's the Extreme Speed doing almost half of Urshifu's HP. Legal Storm hits both.
No, Sucker Punch.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
This could be huge.
Yeah, I guess
No, I guess with the
Kiwamu knew
Tailwind.
that
Yeah.
Hirofumi knew he couldn't go for the Sucker Punch if he went for Aqua Jet. And yeah, it's just excellent mind game right here. I think one critical hit puts him back in the game though. Oh!
Actually, with the Sucker Punch, it definitely would have done enough. I
Yeah,
take
like
it back.
he had, with the Sucker Punch and the chance to get a crit on one of the two, I think getting that turn correct for Kiwamu was actually still a pretty big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's actually kind of the reverse of the first game, where in the first game I felt like Kiwamu did all the work to get to the end and then kind of I don't know, like it just didn't work out, and Hirofumi kind of like, I don't want to say stole the game, but found a way to grab it back at the last second. And this game I actually feel the reverse, where it was Hirofumi who I felt like kind of was in the driver's seat for most of the game and was in a position to win, and then at the very end, Kiwamu found the play that would bring them back into it.
Unlike in previous generations, I think Heatran is a Pokemon that is not so good in these mirror matches and is more there to cover like bases against like Trick Room teams like Torkoal, you know. But yes, there's definitely some merits to bringing it if you can hard read which Pokemon.
Basically, by going for Bleak Wind Storm in close combat, you, assuming you hit, will be threatening a ton of damage here, and it covers the fake out play basically, where yeah, because you're not under that much pressure. That being said, one of the best switches you could have made here was into the Tornadus because it resists the close combat. It's not super weak to the Bleak Wind Storm, and the Rocky Helmet damage will be like nice into the Urshifu. So we do see the Terra Steel coming out here, no Terra Poison, which makes sense in my opinion. We'll have to see what the Chen Pao goes for.
Yeah, I bet Kiwamu has been in this exact...
Oh my god! No way!
And it takes a 2. What a play here from both players. Hirofumi reading that Terra Steel, going for the Sacred Sword, but it's not enough for the knockout actually. And wow, I was gonna say Kiwamu probably was in the same situation before, but it looks like Hirofumi has anticipated this, and wow. What a play. Definitely not how I think any of us expected this turn to play out.
Kiwamu prefers Hirofumi to have done that instead of Icicle Crash, because if he had flinched there, it would have been very bad.
Absolutely. No, both players locking in quickly here actually is.
Oh, he goes for that play that we talked about in game 2, yeah.
Tailwind. Taking a little more Rocky Helmet damage in the process though. But yeah, I mean, honestly, even though Hirofumi got the read totally correct, the fact that Tornadus survived there with 3 HP is just, it's massive, right? Because now Tailwind is active, and also the Bleak Wind Storm from last turn did so much damage to Hirofumi's team. So even though Kiwamu, like, I guess got hard red and used their Terra, like, I personally feel like Hirofumi is actually the one behind right now. Like, that's actually still okay.
That's right. I don't think he has any Pokemon in the back that could, oh, I guess he has his own Rillaboom. But yeah, the fake out into the Hirofumi's Urshifu is so free here.
Yeah, although the Woodhammer with Tailwind up is kind of tempting as well, no?
Yeah. Oh, he goes for a Protect.
I think it makes sense.
Yes.
You're only losing to close combat here. And you don't want to take a Woodhammer, right? Like, I think the Urshifu really wants to take out the Chen Pao, and yeah.
I think the plan for Hirofumi at this point is, well, they have exactly the same Pokemon on the field, with the difference that Kiwamu has Tailwind up. So using your own Rillaboom as a defensive switch and into the Surging Strikes, get fake out pressure on the board for maybe a big turn in the next turn while stalling out Tailwind. I think, yeah, that's exactly what Hirofumi needs to do.
Terra Water into the like Urshifu with the defense drop. Is there a chance that KOs? Because like that's what I would be tempted to go for here.
Yeah. If he does go for the Terra Water here.
I've seen that Urshifu take so many hits. I don't know if you wanna bank it on that, but
he definitely went.
Well,
there it is.
There's the Urshifu.
Water Terrassolation over from
And he didn't go for the fake out, right?
We don't know yet.
U-turn?
He went for he went for a U-turn. Although fake out wasn't active for
sorry, yeah. On
he didn't go for Woodhammer though.
He didn't go for Woodhammer.
There's the fake out. Yeah, this is the play that I would have liked to see.
And this is in the Flutter Mane then.
This only telegraphs to me he went for Surging Strikes.
Yeah, went for Surging Strikes, but the question is which
where?
slots. Oh my god.
Wow.
Talk
nice
about overkill.
Play.
Oh my goodness.
Oh. Well, he paused
Did he
this
read
turn.
this?
Will it be enough though? I mean, this is like, you know how strong this is. That
Yeah,
should be enough.
should be enough.
That should be enough. Kiwamu might have found the one way back into this game. Potentially, we'll have to see U-turn coming out. It picks up the KO. Okay, 2 against 2. Okay, here comes the Aqua Jet.
Nope, no crit.
Does he miss?
Oh.
Wait, with the Life Orb recoil.
Oh, wow. But because he's at -1?
But there's no close combat on the other side. Okay.
Huh.
And there's no more Sword of Ruin.
Yeah, no more Sword of Ruin.
Although Terra Water, I feel like
does-
Terra Water does so much damage with the defense drop.
Yeah, apparently he
Or
does
does
have close combat, so
Oh,
the match.
Wow, and Hirofumi Kimura is the winner of your Wolfglix Japan Invitational.
We
Yes.
have the Gyarados, we have the Hisuian Arcanine, and we have the Landorus, and it feels like a lot of teams really want to have one of those three just to shut down the Chen Pao's damage output. And that is also something that we might see in this game, as I think, Hisuian Arcanine is actually a Pokemon that is kind of awkward to deal with. on our team.
Yes.
Because it is so strong. It can limit the damage output that isn't that great to begin with. Limit that even further. So I'm curious seeing whether Hirofumi will bring to the
And
match.
awkwardness comes from the lead, as you see the Spirit Arcanine to Chen Pao coming from Hirofumi, and the Fluttermane and the Gyarados from Wolf.
Yeah, the ultimate dog-cat combination as well. Coming out here on Hirofumi side, I love to see that.
A double protect from Wolf is also very free, but we see the Arcanine switch out for Hirofumi.
Yeah, the Intimidate can be detrimental there, so I like the resetting of that on Hirofumi's side, bringing in the Rillaboom as well, something that can apply pressure. It has to watch out, though, again, it doesn't want to have to take any Thunder Waves or any paralysis on its own. But Gyarados switching out too, both the Intimidators leaving the field.
Yeah. I mean, it was a really, really nice way to get Rillaboom in there while covering for Arcanine's water weakness. Oh, nope. We're going to see that patented Poison Terra, Chen Pao, ready to resist anything Fluttermane might have to throw its way. And now it's going to deal some damage. Maybe into a Protect.
I'm so used to seeing Ghost Chi and powers. It's interesting to see that Poison one, but Fluttermane just protecting here.
Yeah, so Chen Pao is at -1. Let's see where it is aiming. The Icing Crash, it is into the Fluttermane. So Wolf is definitely happy with that.
Wolf is going to do to prevent that Arcanine from hitting the field, and from there it's a one... Oh, I don't know. I thought it would be nice, but...
Yeah, I'm surprised to see the Fluttermane stay in being threatened, but let's see how much damage this does to Chen Pao.
Ooh.
Only about 60%. And Ice Cold Crash going into the Iron Hands.
That's huge. Of course, that's also one downside of playing this slower game with Intimidate and with a bulky Pokemon, and this critical hit, just getting a one-hit knockout on a Pokemon as bulky as Iron Hands, just once again showing how offensive Chen Pao really is.
A lot less defensive options, and I think what I'm wondering is how Hirofumi is going to pivot out of this. We don't see any switches now, but maybe there could be a U-turn coming out from the Rillaboom. But I don't think he has that many great options to switch into the Thunder Waves, so maybe it could even just be a Wood Hammer going into this Fluttermane.
That's true. And sometimes a good defense, or the best defense is a good offense, and in the lack of a defense, let's go on the offensive, go for that Terra Fairy as well on the Fluttermane to hit even harder with something like a Dazzling Gleam, which is what Wolf has gone for here. Unfortunately, going into the Protect there of the opposing Chi and Pao, even with the Poison Terror on there, it's still going to hit hard coming from a Fluttermane. Rillaboom not taking too much though. That Rillaboom is bulky.
Do you think that the Dazzling Gleam would have KO'd that Chen Pao? Because I'm definitely not sure after this.
I'm also not sure.
And I think that it's kind of an interesting play from Wolf.
Oh,
wow.
That was
big damage.
intimidated, right?
Yeah, that's a
Yes.
strong Rillaboom.
With Sword of Ruin, so
Yeah, there you go.
Don't forget the terrain as well. That's going to be helping out.
yeah.
And this is actually, I believe the last Pokemon here is Amoonguss, right?
Yep.
So we've got two support Pokemon.
that's-
I don't know about this one.
Not the position you want to be in as
Yes.
Wolf.
Gosh, I think this Poison Terror is so impressive. Like, I'm not sure that Dazzling Gleam would have KO'd.
Yeah, I think it's all to be pretty tricky.
The Warfork comes out, of course, a nice combination with the paralysis, causing the Rillaboom to flinch, and Spore goes off from the Amoonguss, so some room to breathe here for Wolf, who, might be able to launch maybe a Pollen Puff into that Rillaboom, maybe Waterfall into that Chen Pao. Yeah, you can go for a double up in the Rillaboom and hope that the Chen Pao is asleep for a while, but I think it is possible for Wolf to get the 2 KOs that he would need.
Yes, to see the last Pokemon.
Just to see that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
It's not a big price, but it is one.
Yeah, it all comes down to the Gyarados, I think. We've seen Amoonguss in previous tournaments, climb very high mountains, but this is a tough one for it. Yes, it goes for the Pollen Puff, doesn't really do too much, but maybe Gyarados could get the KO on the next turn, just like you say, just try and get that 4th Pokemon for some information gain. It's a best of 3 set after all.
Does Hirofumi maybe want to go for the Amoonguss instead? Yep, and there could be some mind games here. Is Hirofumi thinking, oh, I want to go for the accurate moves and go for the Amoonguss instead? Let's see what move he chose with the Arcanine.
So Chen Pao.
It is
there's a
the
rock slide.
Is the Protect.
Oh, is it Rock Slide all over again?
It's
oh my god.
It's a one-hit knockout. That's powerful.
Yeah, very powerful move, and with the choice band, of course, players, I think, figuring out that Hisuian Arcanine is a threat. Just like, I think the week before Worlds, it won a big grassroots tournament, and I think that sparked a lot of players to revisit that Fire-type slot or that Intimidate slot. And what ended up happening, and I'm sure Wolf will probably also talk about this at length in the future, is that we had this like 5 Pokemon that we really liked, and we're looking for like a last Pokemon to patch the holes. And turns out what we wanted couldn't be done just with regular typing combinations, and we needed a Pokemon that had a certain ability to block out certain moves. So in the end, that's how Zap Zipper Farigiraf joined the team.
So it was intentional.
Of course. Well, we'll see whether we'll see what it can do in this match. I'm not sure like how confident we all are in this choice after the tournament, but I thought it was a fun one for sure. And Hirofumi, of course, doesn't know that this surprise is waiting for him in the back here.
Hirofumi's Tornadus doesn't have the usual either Ghost Terra or the Covert Cloak. Oh, sorry, it does have it doesn't have Covert Cloak.
It's the Rocky.
It has the Rocky helmet, so Thunder Wave with Fake Out could definitely be possible here. And it seems like Wolf is not going for that and just going for a knockout into the Tornadus instead.
Yeah, but the Rain Dance and the Terra Water, that's gonna be one strong Urshifu move coming out, predicting that no Fake Out would come that way, and that looks like
that's gonna get it.
Big knockout once again with a critical hit.
Wow, that is a lot of eggs in the Urshifu basket, getting the solid knockout against the Iron Hands. And we talked about this in game 1, right? Losing the Iron Hands early on meant that Wolf couldn't switch it in and out, didn't have that flexibility, and it's gone again early doors in game 2.
Yeah, Iron Hands once again going down, so once again we will not find out how the defensive pivot of Iron Hands will help Wolf in this game.
It's not meant to be.
If he doesn't have Rillaboom in the back, I think he's actually still in a pretty okay position.
I think if I were Hirofumi, I would just Surging Strikes those Amoonguss. You can protect all you want.
Yeah.
Exactly. Unseen Fist still going to catch you off guard. The Taunt was actually going down into the Amoonguss, just going to stop it for going any of those status moves, but the Protect quite wise. And here's the Surging Strikes you were just talking about, Darren, and it's going down into that Gyarados. Not quite the Amoonguss. It breathes a sigh of relief, I think.
Yeah, thanks to the Citrus Berry, the Gyarados should be able to take this and can then finish off this Tornadus. But wow, that Urshifu, if you let that attack like twice without really doing anything about it, it's not gonna end well usually.
No.
Yeah, it's super unchecked here right now. Urshifu just being able to destroy things on the field. And yes, Tornadus does go down, but I think with the momentum that Hirofumi's got, bringing in a Pokemon from the back isn't necessarily the worst thing here. Even if it's something like the Arcanine just to throw down and Intimidate, that could always be very supportive, and you can always switch it out later for something like the Rillaboom if it is in the back.
But obviously, Hirofumi bring in one of his most aggressive options in Qianpao, boosting Urshifu's damage ceiling even higher.
Hey, Hirofumi's Pokemon just constantly outspeeding Wolves here, and
no
Icicle
Terra.
Crash.
Yeah, the Icicle Crash connects.
And
it's a
get the
knockout.
KO.
Rip.
Yeah,
So it's gone. There's not a lot to say there. It kind of it speaks what it is on the page. I mean, I feel like, again, the Urshifu just being so fast, being able to get those Surging Strikes, the Gyarados almost needed to get a Thunder Wave down onto it just to be able to, try and slow it down a bit. But when you don't have a Moongus anymore to do anything by your side, Gyarados was so exposed.
Okay, but I know it looks bad, but there's the last Pokemon that Wolf still has left.
Thank God.
Oh, it's the Giraffe. I mean, this did come second at the World Championships,
that's true.
so, let's not rule it out. It may look a little interesting.
What ability did that giraffe have?
That one did have Armor Tail, so, but it didn't win, so maybe this is the secret.
That's true.
All right, let's see what it can do here with the Terra Water.
So hopefully Wolf can get up a Trick Room here and be safeguarded from Hirofumi's attacks.
Yeah, I think the problem is that if you give a team as offensive as Hirofumi's just like this one turn of opportunity, like it will strike. And I think everyone's here a little surprised at that damage. And yeah, Surging Strike in water, in rain, should be enough to get the knockout here on the Farigiraf. And yeah, both players shaking hand there. Hirofumi, not only our champion here in the WolfeyVGC Invitational in Japan, but also defeating the former world champion in this exhibition match.